Alrighty. Now that hello everyone, we've got extremely hyped music playing for what is undoubtedly going to be a very low-key and chill stream, so thank you, Shuffle. You've definitely set the correct tone. Not offbeat at all. Nope. Gotcha. Everyone knows that reading through visual novels is extremely hype and not low-key at all, right? Um, what could be the better implication of what I'm about to do than two very hyped songs right in a row? Oh yeah, anyway, I haven't streamed in like... You did stream Busta Fellows, and goodness gracious, that was a thing you did. Look, there's a part of me that wants to stream Danganronpa, but I also, like, mostly just so that I actually make myself play it, because I've only played the first game, and like 2 hours of the second. But here's the thing, because I have Danganronpa 1 and 2, and Ultra Despair Girls, and the summer camp board game standalone game. Yeah. Look, here's the thing. I worry about that, but also, I'm a purveyor of cursed content, so the worst that's gonna happen is they'll be weird and I'll just fucking eat them. So, also, I feel like the hype around the series is probably a lot less than what it was when you streamed it, so... I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they sit around in their living rooms all day just waiting for someone to go live with it so they can be weird. I wouldn't put it past them. I've talked to quite a few Danganronpa fans, and they're all... like, a good chunk of them are like that. I mean, probably. But also the fact that people would build a bot just to mess with people that are playing Danganronpa, like... I can't really hate on it. Because that's a lot of effort just for a stupid passion project. Hey Sal, how you doing? Welcome in. Hopefully the 5 million demos have been treating you well. I also realized just now, no, we don't need the conversion rate of dollars to reals. That was weird enough. That was weird enough in Big's chat. I don't necessarily want that here. But yeah. Also, I realized that I resized VideoTube for Lifeline and for my tech check for Fatales. So my model is larger than it's supposed to be right now, but I also can't be bothered to care. It's fine. It's not worth changing to just have to fix it later. Anyway, though, I'm gonna go ahead and just pop over to the game. Oh no. Oh, they were wrong? That's even worse. If you're gonna be weird about stupid knowledge, why, you have to at least be accurate. Come on now. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I honestly, yeah, I might just leave it. Because, like, here, let me swap over. Because, like, slightly zoomed in, a bit bigger than before. Oh no, I think my shoulder is covering a tiny bit more of the corner that nothing important will happen in. Oh, woe is me. The struggles. Also, this feels very loud. Why is this so loud for a menu? Good lord. Anyway. Yeah, in hindsight, I'm looking at it, and the energy I'm getting... You're right, they are. They are the most... Oh, shit, and some of your words are on my sleeve. Damn. I am the worst. But yeah, also, I'm noticing, because of the zoomed-inness of it, it's giving me the energy that I have, like, my arm just draped on the bottom edge of the screen, and I kind of like it. Okay, let's see. Oh, why did the cursor start over there? That's weird. Okay, well, I can't read Spanish, German, or whatever that is. Um, cool. Good enough. I'll fuck with the settings later if I need to. But yeah, so we're here with the Mermaid of Zennor? Zennor? I don't know. I can't pronounce things. The English language is hard, and I'm not good at it. Those of you that know me probably know that I'm not the hugest person on reading out loud, so I intentionally requested a code for this so that I could stream it and make myself read it out loud. Because, you know, getting out of your comfort zone, stretching, all those good things. Anyway. Oh shit, there's birds. My name is Lilac, and I'm 13 years old. I have short black hair and blue eyes, and I'm in love with my older brother. This is... okay. This immediately took a turn. This immediately took a turn. Uh-huh, yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Well, we're off to an amazing start. Look, that's the first thing that came to mind for me as well, Vic. It does. This is a very My Immortal first sentence. I don't think I have that much angst in my body. I don't think I have that in me anymore. That left me a long time ago. Alright. Okay, so first sentence, wild, right out the fucking gate. Let's see where we go from here, though. I live in a small village called Zennor, which is located on the north coast of Cornwall, down in the bottom corner of England. You're right, I am too old to be emo. That is, I'm gonna call that accurate. Yes, everyone request this, we'll play it together. I've always thought Zennor is a funny name. It sounds like Lenore. Hey, I am pronouncing it right. Which is the type of fabric conditioner Mom uses when she washes my clothes. In school last week for an English project, my class had to research our homes and write reports about them. I learned that alphabetically, Zennor comes last on the list of parishes in Britain. Zennor is also a very tiny village. About 200 people live here. It really is that small. Okay. We don't have any proper shops, we don't have any cinemas, and we don't have any restaurants. We do have a church, though. It's an old-fashioned stone building with wooden pews. The church in Zennor is a bit famous, actually. There's an old carving of a mermaid in one of the pews that dates back to the 15th century. Oh, yeah. It is about apparently a 13-year-old who's in love with her brother. That part I didn't know. I did know that it involves a mermaid in a tiny-ass town in Britain. So, yeah. Oh, I can't pronounce that either. Shit. This mermaid was called Morverin, and she fell in love with a human man named Matty. I don't know if that's actually pronounced Matty, but this person is now officially Matty. Um, sure. The people of Zennor were very close-minded back then, and they hated mermaids. They thought they were monsters. What the fuck is going on? Ah, cool Matty. You're right. It is. This is legally distinct, so it's cool Matty. Morvern was scared Matthew would be hurt if he stayed with her. She loved Matthew, and she was willing to leave him if it would keep him safe. Matthew loved Morvern just as much as she loved him, however, to such an extent that he abandoned Zennor and went to live at the bottom of the ocean with her. I think about that story a lot. Do you? Do you, random 13-year-old in England? Like, I know there's not a lot going on in your village or your life, but like, that's certainly something to fixate on. Sometimes I think I'm like Morvern, but the stories say that she was beautiful and I am not. Oh. Oh. Do people not like your My Chemical Romance t-shirt in the tiny-ass British village? I don't have the tail of a fish, but my classmates think I'm weird, and I'm also somebody I can't be with. I don't know that I'm gonna make it through this whole game. I'm already laughing too much internally at this. Well, I'm not thinking about, I'm not thinking about mermaids. I'm usually thinking about my brother. I think about my brother a lot. Please stop. I've always thought about him, but I've been thinking about him more than usual lately. My brother doesn't live with me and my dad and my mother, who is not his mother anymore. He lives in London, and he goes to university there. He's a lot older than me. Are they at least step-siblings? I am only 13, but my brother is 19. His name is Jesse, and he has black hair and blue eyes, and he is very tall. We have the same hair and eye color, but I do not think we look much alike. Jesse is always smiling, while I always look sad. Oh god, it is a Bobby. What have I gotten myself into? Jesse isn't my full brother. He is my father's son, but his mother died before I was born. That's not step-siblings. This is officially back into not okay territory. She does want to be Jesse's girl. I think Dad is still sad that his old wife died, though it happened 15 years ago. I wouldn't be surprised if he still loves her. When Dad talks about her, which isn't very often, he sounds very soft and gentle and undad-like. He says her name, Tegan, like it is some kind of charm or magical spell. Maybe that is why Dad isn't very nice to me. Oh shit. It's just because my mother is not Jesse's mother, and I am not Jesse's real sister. I am just a good lord. Half-formed, maybe, like Morverin, with her human torso and her fish's tail. Sometimes wish I was a mermaid. Then I would have a nice singing voice, and I would be beautiful, and I could live in the water, and I wouldn't have to go to school. Then I remind myself that if I were a mermaid, I wouldn't be Jesse's sister, and we wouldn't know each other, and he wouldn't love me, and I wouldn't love him, and what would be the point in that? Jesse's the only person who makes me happy. Without him, my life would be meaningless. It's been 2 months since Jesse went away to university, and I miss him a lot. He said he would call me every single day. He promised, and I believed him, because Jesse always keeps his promises. Jesse's a good person. That's why everybody likes him. That is why I love him. But he hasn't called me nearly as often as he said he would. I wonder what he's doing right now. Probably not thinking about you, his younger half-sister. I don't know what London is like. I can't imagine it. I've never been to a city before, unless you count Penzance, and I don't think that is nearly as big as London. I have seen pictures of London on the internet. I know what the London Eye looks like, and the Houses of Parliament, and Big Ben. There are lots of old, tall buildings made of stone in London, and lots of new, modern buildings made of glass. It looks busy, the pavements are dirty, and it is full of people. I don't think I would want to live in London. I don't like living in Zennor much either, because it is tiny, and I don't have any friends except Jesse. He is not here anymore. You know, I'm questioning that as well, Big, but so far we have a very nice gray sky with some tiny ass birds in the corner and text. So, you know, these things happen. He's in London and I'm in Zennor, and he promised that he would call me every day, but he hasn't. How do I know if he is alright? What if he's been hurt? Thoughts like that keep me awake all night. I've been feeling scared a lot lately. Sometimes I feel so scared I can't eat. But I don't mind that much, as I have never liked eating. What the fuck do you like other than your brother? What the hell? If I have lost weight, my dad has not commented on it. I don't think he cares about me. But my counselor at school, Mrs. Corey? Curry? Sure, does. Oh shit, we get a different image. It's a Bobby! Say hi to a Bobby, chat. I went to see Miss Curry in her office. I went to see Miss Curry in her office after school for a chat last week. She asked me how things were at home, and how my parents had been treating me, and how I was feeling. Okay, Lux, you say anime Anobi as if Anobi wasn't already anime? Let's be so real. I think Miss Curry feels sorry for me because my family is poor, and my school uniform is never ironed, and my school shoes are always dirty. Good Lord. I feel sorry for me too, but not because of my dirty clothes. I feel sorry for me because Jesse is not here. I told Miss Curry I was having trouble sleeping and eating because I was missing my brother. She nodded and said, "Oh, Jesse, I remember him. He was a sweet boy." "No," I said stiffly, because I didn't like her tone. "He's still a sweet boy. He isn't dead." "Of course not. I wasn't trying to imply that," Miss Corey replied. "Then why were you talking about him in the past tense?" I asked. "Good night. Okay." I stared at Miss Corey challengingly, and she looked embarrassed and apologized for hurting my feelings. This made me feel a bit better, but only a bit. Miss Curry has worked at my school for a long time, and she knows Jesse. He used to go to this school too, before he went to London. After a little dispute, Miss Curry calls them hiccups. Miss Curry asked me how Jesse was doing, and I told her I didn't know because he didn't call that often, even though I was worried about him. The more I talked about Jesse, the worse I felt. I started to cry. Miss Curry had to hand me a tissue and ask me to calm down. I did try to calm down. I swear I did. But my shoulders kept shaking and my eyes stung. I told Miss Curry I was afraid I was afraid Jesse might have gotten lost in London because it's so big, or maybe he had been stabbed or killed. Miss Curry patted me on the back and said she didn't think Jesse had been killed, because if he had, the police would have called my family and I would know about it. "Then why hasn't Jesse called me?" I asked, and Miss Curry frowned. "I'm sure he's just having fun. London is a lot bigger than any of the towns in Cornwall, and there's so much to do. He's probably trying to take in all the sights," Miss Curry said. "Does that mean he's forgotten about me?" "Oh no, Lilac. I don't think Jesse would ever forget about you. You're a very individual child." Oh yeah, they're in Cornwall. They're in a tiny-ass village in the middle of fucking nowhere in England. I thought that was a stupid thing to say, because everybody is an individual. But I didn't tell Miss Corey that because I knew she was trying to be nice. So she is one of the only people I know who bothers trying. I read that wrong. Whatever. Jesse's growing up and he's living his own life, that's all. It's normal for children to branch away from their families as they get older, but I'm sure he'll keep in touch. And you don't think he's lost? I asked seriously because I wanted to make sure. I thought it was a sensible question, but Miss Curry laughed like I had told a joke. I wish she wouldn't do that. She should know by now that I don't tell jokes. Of course you don't. Why would you ever tell jokes? The saddest girl on the planet. I'm sure he isn't lost, Lilac. Your brother has a good head on his shoulders. He'll be fine, she said, and she sounded so convinced I was almost convinced too. Oh shit, we're going to image 3. Never mind, I lied. We're back on image 1. I honestly have no idea. Like, at the end of the day, even if you're just retelling a fairy tale, but Maya moralified using stock assets, that's still a lot more effort than a lot of people have put into making games, which the majority of people is none. So, I suppose this means that Jesse isn't lost and he hasn't been stabbed, and he is just in London enjoying himself. He's living his own life. That should make me feel happy, but it doesn't. It makes me feel worse than ever, because I am the center of the universe. If Jesse isn't lost, and he isn't sick, and he isn't in trouble, then why hasn't he called me in so long? He has no excuse. I'm his sister. I may not be his full sister. We were raised together, and I love him, and I thought he loved me. I thought I was important to him. I thought I mattered. Good night. Why has he abandoned me? Why is he ignoring me? Doesn't he know how? If I keep spending my nights wide awake staring up the ceiling, the bags beneath my eyes will grow darker and darker like bruises. But I don't care. It doesn't matter. Nothing seems to matter without Jesse. Oh, shit. Y'all, I got a trophy for reading for 20 minutes. Hell yeah. Look, here's the... No, Lux, you have to understand. The she loves her brother thing is less weird to me than just how downtrodden this girl is because her older brother went to college. Like, homie, that's just a fucking part of life. Especially in the UK, going to university is much more normalized than it is here. It's just a thing people do. This is not like some weird thing that he's doing to get away from her. Anyway, I hate taking the bus to school. I hate taking the bus to school more than I hate school itself. And I hate school a lot. I go to St. Ives School in St. Ives. It isn't, as Mrs. Lambert would say in that snooty way of hers, a very original name. I used to go to Trithel? Sure, Trithel Primary, which wasn't so bad because the teachers were nice to me and I didn't get picked on as much. But now I go to St. Ives School, and it is horrible. I hate the uniforms, and I hate school dinners, and I hate most of the teachers, but I hate my classmates more than all of that put together. I don't know why they even call... I don't even know why they are even called classmates. They are not my mates. I get teased a lot in class, but it isn't that bad because Aislinn, I think that's right, whatever, is there to look out for me. The teasing is much, much worse on the school to and from bus. Whoa, fuck. On the bus to and from school. Because Aislinn is not there, and I am all on my own. Oh shit, look at that bus. I am met with mean whispers the moment I step onto the bus. The main boys are called Isla? What is that name? Isla and Phoebe and Lucy and Megan. And they are all in year 9 like me. And I hate them. I think they hate me too, but I don't know why. I've never done anything to them other than exist. Just look at her, says Megan, while I try to find a seat. She's getting skinnier by the day. That's a wonderful... Well, to be fair, she did say that she goes to St. Ives in St. Ives. So it sounds like maybe her town doesn't even have a fucking school, and she takes a bus to another town. You don't think she's anorexic, do you? That's very hot topic, but hot damn, that is something that a high schooler would say. Of course not. She's just looking for attention, like always, says Lucy. I guess trigger warning fucking bullying? I wasn't expecting this, but like, shit's getting real with these teenagers. Her clothes are so shabby, and look at her hair. It's so matted and greasy, says Phoebe. Does she even shower? She stinks, says Megan. Shh, she'll hear you, says... Is that Isla? Isla? How the fuck do you say that name? I'm gonna go with Isla. Isla. Isla works. Good, I want her to hear us. Maybe she'll start taking better care of herself, says Lucy. Ah, so I was right. Thank you both. Hey, Nightbot, thank you. We especially need that right now, apparently. Isn't she ashamed to go outside looking like that? Says Phoebe. Maybe she's too stupid to know what shame is, says Megan, and then they all laugh. Even Isla, who is probably the nicest of the four. Isla is in my English class, and once she let me borrow a pencil when I lost mine. She didn't pull a face when I took the pencil from her, and she even smiled at me. The bar is on the ground, everyone. On the fucking ground. She isn't smiling now, though. I slump down in my seat and rest my cheek against the window. It feels cool and relaxing against my face. I look at my reflection in the window. The windows of the bus are dirty, and the lilac who looks back at me is distorted. Her reversed face is even grimier than mine. The sleeve of my blazer is grimy too. It smells of bacon fat. I helped my mother make breakfast this morning, and the oil spattered down my front, and I didn't have enough time to change it. Okay. Pausing for a moment, though. If you're cooking bacon, why the fuck were you wearing your school uniform already? Or, I don't know, put on an apron? Or at least take off the blazer so it doesn't, like, your sleeves don't get jacked up. There are many ways around this particular issue. Anyway. I thought my mother would thank me for helping her, but she didn't. She just sighed and tutted and said I was clumsy. I lick my fingertip and start scrubbing the spot of grease, but it doesn't budge. I don't know what I was expecting. She's not saying anything, murmurs Lucy. Do you think she's crying? Asks Isla. Why don't you cry, Lilac? It might clean your dirty face, says Megan. Damn. Oh, you know what, Lux, you're so right. She lives in this uniform and nothing else. I don't really feel like crying, so I don't. I wouldn't bother shedding tears over these idiots. Miss Curry told me when people tease me, I should count the 10 inside my head and try to picture a tranquil lake, but that never seems to work. It definitely does not stop me from being bullied. It is completely pointless. I really can't stand that girl. She's so freaky, says Lucy. She always stares at me, too, with this creepy look on her face, says Phoebe. Gross, says Lucy. And she smells. Hey, Lilac, did you hear that? You smell. Damn. You at least brush your teeth, you know. Hey, since we're feeling so generous, why don't you take this? Says Megan, but she does not say it. She shouts it. A scrunch-up ball of foil and paper flies down the length of the bus and lands in my lap. Well, at least it didn't hit you in the face. It's a very light projectile. It doesn't hurt, but it still takes me by surprise. I pick it up and unfold it, smoothing out the rough creases beneath my fingertips. It's the wrapper from a package of spearmint gum. Somebody must have chucked it. I'm used to that. People throw things at me a lot. A chewing gum wrapper is not worth worrying about. I have had much larger objects thrown in my direction before. The boys are usually more daring than the girls. What the fuck? PE bags are rather common, but so are footballs and bottles of soda. I was once hit in the head with a soda bottle. The top must have been screwed on loosely, because it fell off and I was soaked from head to foot with sticky liquid. How big was the... Did they chuck an entire 2-liter at her? Good lord. All the boys and girls laughed. The bus driver did not laugh. He glared at us in the rearview mirror and said, I hope one of you is going to stay behind and clean that mess up, or I'll be having a strict word with your parents. He didn't seem too concerned about my welfare. He was more alarmed about the seats of his precious bus, which are ugly anyway. I crumpled the chewing gum wrapper in my fingers and stashed it away inside my pocket. Why? Why would you do that? Now what do you say? Why don't you thank us? As if. She never speaks to us. Yeah, I wonder fucking why. But that doesn't stop her from staring. What a weirdo. It's no wonder her brother left her. Ah, damn. Right in the feels. My fingers tightened into fists on my lap. The motions of the school bus knocked my head against the window. I don't care what the bullies say about me or my parents, but I do care about what they say about my brother. I care about Jesse more than I care about anything else in the world. How could they ever hope to understand a love like mine? I hope they don't. I hope they fucking don't. I could try and explain it, but I know it would not help. My bullies are too stupid and simple and narrow-minded to know what love is. They do not know anything, and they are wrong when they say that I smell. I do not. Not deliberately, at least. You're not really helping your case here, kid. Hey, Lilac, aren't you gonna say anything? Are you dumb? Says Lucy, or Megan, or Phoebe, or Isla. But at this point, I can't tell them apart. I wish they would all shut up. She never tries to defend herself. She's such a weirdo. Why does she have to go to our school anyway? Aren't there special schools for people like her? I'm sick and tired of seeing her every day. She's so depressing. Do you think she knows that she's a weirdo? How can she not know? It's so obvious. Lux, I thought the same thing. I fold my arms across my chest and look out the window. The scenery speeds past. It goes by quickly, but not quick enough. I wish the bus driver would drive and drive until all of Cornwall became a blur and everything around me disappears. All the mocking laughter, all the cruel insults, all the nasty names, everything. I wouldn't mind if the driver put his own... Yep. Good for you, kid. Not reading that one. Everybody would die. All the people who are mean to me. All the people who aren't mean to me. But who sit here quietly while being bullied without defending me. Sometimes I think those people are even worse than the bullies, and the bus driver is worse than them all. He's supposed to be an adult, but he lets my classmates tease me without saying a word. Maybe he doesn't want to start a scene. Maybe he doesn't think it's worth it. Maybe he doesn't think I am worth it. Am I less human to him? Less than human to him, excuse me. I must be less than human to the others, or they wouldn't treat me like this. Who wants to be insulted and harassed and called names? Miss Curry seems to think the bullying will stop if I remember to say please and thank you, but I think she is deluded. I think you need to deck these chicks. I do not always know how to respond appropriately in social situations, but I think a hurt piss off would be justified in my case. Swearing does not stop the bullying either, though. I've already tried it. That's partially how I ended up with a counselor in the first place. Oh. When I step into my classroom that morning, 10 minutes before form starts, I'm greeted by my friend Aislinn. Well, Aislinn thinks she's my friend. I'm not so sure about that. What the fuck? Aislinn is a cheerful girl with very blonde hair and brown eyes. She has pierced ears and paints her nails, and her school bag has a fluffy pom-pom keychain hanging from the zipper. She's very soft and sweet. She smells soft and sweet too. I know this because sometimes she stands a bit too close to me and I can smell her. God, this girl is really bad at not being a weirdo. Birthday's in October, which is right near the beginning of the school term. She's 14, which makes her older than me, though she does not act. I don't know why Hazelyn wants to be my friend, but we don't have anything in common. My hair is dark, but hers is blonde. My eyes are blue, but hers are brown. She smiles a lot. She's very talkative, and most people like her. I'm quiet, and my form teacher, Mr. Penrose, says I look sullen and sulky most of the time, and nobody likes me. I don't understand why Hazelyn is so cheerful. To be honest, that gets on my nerves. I try to put up with her though, because if I didn't have Hazelyn, I wouldn't have anybody, and then school really would be unbearable. I don't think of it as being two-faced. I'm being tactical. All military commanders would agree with my strategy. Would they? I think school is more dangerous than the battlefield. Hi, Lilac. How are you doing? I'm fine, I say after a pause. I didn't get much sleep last night, so I feel tired, and the sleeve of my school uniform is spotted with bacon fat, and I got teased on the bus on the way to school. But these are common occurrences. Whoops. I'm used to them, and it doesn't really bother me. Hazelyn's nosiness does bother me, however. Are you sure you're fine? Hazelyn asks, as though I'm so stupid I can't understand my own emotions, let alone anyone else's. You look tired. I woke up early and helped my mother make breakfast. It's nice you want to help your mother, but shouldn't you look after yourself first, Hazelyn asks? I don't mind, I tell her, for what must be the dozenth time. Jesse used to help when he was at home, but now he's at university, so I have to help instead. Couldn't your father do it? It doesn't seem fair that you should work so hard. You're only 13. Life isn't fair. I put my bag on my lap and open it up. I remove my planner and my pencil case and arrange them neatly on my desk. I like things being neat and tidy. I hope Hazelyn might get the idea and leave me alone, but she doesn't. She never does. Instead, she looks at me and frowns. Hey, Lilac. Did you eat any breakfast today? I shake my head. Motherfucker, if you made bacon, why didn't you eat it? Why does she care? Weren't you hungry? I shake my head again. Well, it's a good thing I stopped by the supermarket on my way to school, Hazelyn says, but she doesn't really say it. Hazelyn has a light lilting voice, and it often sounds like she's singing. Hazelyn digs into her school bag, which is very pink and cute, and procures a slightly squashed iced finger, which is wrapped in a plastic bag. I'm going to assume that's a British thing. The iced finger is piped with pink icing, and some of the icing has smeared onto the sides of the bag. Okay, so it's some kind of pastry. It does not look very appetizing. Is that for me? I ask. I was saving it for break, but I've already had two. You should have the last one. You need it more than I do. I want to turn her down, but Miss Curry is always telling me I should be nicer to Hazelyn. I was thinking also maybe like a lady finger, but with like icing on it. I don't know. Thank you, I say, though I don't feel very thankful. I wish Hazelyn hadn't bought me anything at all, but I suppose it's the thought that counts. This is what Miss Corey tells me. I accept the pink iced finger from Hazelyn and unwrap it. The cool plastic crinkles beneath my fingers. I bring the pink iced... Someone wanted to hit a word count. I bring the pink iced finger to my lips slowly, opening my mouth and take a tiny bite out of the end. I eat very, very slowly, which annoys Dad. He has shouted at me about my eating habits before. He said I was wasting good food and it was gonna get cold. And did I think I was too bloody good to eat the same meals as everybody else? Did I want to be treated like a queen? I don't want to be treated like anything. I just want to be left alone. So, Aizen says, what do you think? Is it good? It's fine, I tell her, because it isn't good and I don't want to lie. But I don't want to hurt her feelings either. I think I'm making progress. Miss Curry would be proud of me. Well, good, Aizen says, with a right smile on her face. You better finish it before class starts. I'll do my best, I say dubiously, because there's really is a lot. Wow. I say dubiously because there really is a lot of icing on the iced finger, and I don't like sweets very much. I don't like food much in general. It's messy and it gets everywhere, just like the spot of grease on my shirt. So, Lilac, Aizen says again, how's your big brother? Have you heard from him at all? I look at the iced finger, which is even pinker than Aizen's bag, and frown. When Aizen isn't fussing over me, she's asking questions about Jessie. It does have strong Doki Doki vibes. I agree, especially just given that we're in a school scene at the moment. Aizen used to sit next to me in our form room from year 7, but she didn't pay any attention. She didn't pay me any attention for the first month or so. She was busy talking with the other girls, mostly about TV shows and music and other things I never cared about. This is true. She doesn't like anything but her brother. Then, one day, Jesse came into the classroom to talk to me. He had forgotten of his pencil case, and he wanted to borrow some of my stationery. Jesse is handsome, unlike me, and the girls in my class were interested in him. They asked me who he was, and why he was talking to me, and how I knew him. Aizen was the most curious of all. I told them he was my brother. They looked at me, frowning, and said, really? Like I was lying. And then they said, he doesn't look very much like you. I know Jesse doesn't look like me, so I didn't say anything. There was nothing else to say. I just turned my head and stared out the window. I thought that would be the end of things. But ever since that day, Aizen has determined to become my friend. Aw, shit, just after your brother. Some of my classmates think Aizen acts nice to me because she pities me. Some of my classmates think she acts nice because the headmaster asked her to. I think she acts nice to me because she has a crush on my brother. Nobody believes Aizen acts nice to me because she actually likes me, apart from maybe Aizen herself. I keep wanting to call this girl Aslan, and I know that's wrong, but that's what keeps popping in my head every time I see the name. Damn, Lux, you're so right. She has even been to my house for sleepovers a few times. She insisted. She spent most of the time asking questions about Jessie, which I didn't like. I liked it even less when Jessie smiled at her at the breakfast table the following day and played along with her jokes and said her earrings looked cute. I think that's also part of how I keep looking at it. Like, I keep looking at this name as anything but what it actually says on the screen. Also, can I just take a second to point out, like, every time she has an internal monologue, we get this gray sky with birds. And like, why? You could just have an internal monologue here. I'll know it's internal because there'll be no quotes in it. Anyway, why do you want to know about my brother? I asked Aizen, suddenly in a bad mood. Jessie is mine, not yours. Alright, yeah, I'm just gonna start calling her Aslan. That's what keeps sticking in my head, so I know it's wrong. Forgive me. I know he's not my brother, Aslan says, but he means a lot to you, doesn't he? You were upset that when he was moving away, right? We officially have Aslan and Anobi. That's right. I was upset. You're not allowed to be, I say sharply. Lilac, why are you being so cold? I'm trying to look out for you. It sounds more like you're interested in my brother. Maybe I am interested in him, but I care about you too. I don't want you to be sad. I'm not sad, I tell her, but that isn't entirely true. I think Aslan knows that too. She might be a bit of an idiot, but she isn't completely stupid, good lord. You can tell me if you're feeling down. Isn't that what friends are for? I'm not down, and you're... I start to say, then I cut myself off. Oh, you know what? You're both right. How could we possibly know just how much turmoil there is? And also, I don't think I've ever watched Death Note with the monologues muted, but hot damn, that sounds like a good time. I might do that. I was gonna, I was going to tell her that she isn't my friend, because I don't think she is. But that would be rude, and it would probably upset Miss Corey. Aslan is one of the only girls in your class who talks to you, Miss Corey always tells me. You should return her efforts. Don't push her away. I don't want you to be more isolated than you already are. Close enough. I often think I would rather be lonely than be pretend friends with a girl who's in love with my brother. But I like Miss Corey, and I don't want to hurt her feelings. I don't really want to hurt Aslan either. It isn't Aslan's fault that she's stupid and she has an annoying voice and she's in love with my brother. Good lord. She can't help any of that. It's fine, I eventually tell Aslan, my fingers picking at the pink icing of my bun. I'm fine. I don't want you to worry. But I do worry about you. You're my friend. We've been friends for 2 years, haven't we? Lux, please tell me that link you just sent me is Death Note without the internal monologue. Because if so, I love you. That's fabulous. Ah, damn, Big. You figured out the secret. Thank you so much. I will watch that probably tomorrow. Or maybe later tonight. That's fabulous. Thank you. I suppose we have, I say, blinking, because Aslan is right. It has been a long time. You're always so distant, Aslan says. I want to help if there's something wrong, but I don't know if I can. You never talk to me. That's because you always do the talking, I tell her. Well, maybe you have a point, Aslan says, and she laughs. My dad says I'm a huge chatterbox. I'm just like my mum. I'm in my mum's car. I'm not like my mum. I'm like my dad. Oh, what do you mean? I make people around me unhappy. And who told you that? Aslan said, binding her hands on her hips. If people are being mean to you, Lilac, you tell me and I'll sort them out. You don't need to sort anybody out, I say. I can look after myself. You absolutely fucking cannot look after yourself. You've proven that already. It's true, too. I could look after myself very easily if murder was not a crime and schoolgirls were allowed to bring knives to school. You got fists. Use them. Are you sure you're alright? Aslan said, her brow crinkled. I can talk to Megan if she's saying mean things again. It's fine. I was just telling the truth. I think I must be like my father, because Jesse doesn't like him. And if he liked me, he would have called me by now. Damn. This is deep. You mean you haven't heard from him? Aslan says. I shake my head. I don't think you did. My fingers pick at the pink icing of my iced bun, but I don't put any of it into my mouth. I don't feel hungry. Talking about Jesse does strange things to my stomach. In the past, it used to fill my stomach up with fluttering butterflies. Now it makes me feel sick. Maybe he got tired of me, I say quietly, still dissecting my dessert with my fingertips. Miss Curry said that he probably hasn't called me because he's busy. But if he really loved me, he would make some time for me, wouldn't he? Oh, goodness. I keep picking at the iced bun. My fingertips are sticky and covered in pink, sugary slime. But I don't stop. Maybe he wanted to escape from me, I say. Maybe he wasn't just tired of Dad, but me too. I probably annoyed him a lot. Miss Corey says that can be rather difficult. I think you are correct, if she isn't already. I look at Aslan. Am I difficult? I ask. I ask Aslan because I have to. She's the only person in the school I can talk to other than Miss Corey. And though I doubt she will give me decent advice, I know she won't laugh at me. She isn't like Isla and Phoebe and Lucy and Megan. Maybe Aslan laughs at me behind my back, with her other friends. She doesn't do it to my face like everybody else, which is kind of her. Setting the bar real low. Where is the mermaid? That's a wonderful fucking question. I do not know where the mermaid is. I'm interesting. I completely... Hold on. I didn't actually read that. You can be difficult sometimes. I don't think that... I think that makes you interesting. I'm interesting, I ask. That's right. You're really funny. That's why I wanted to be your friend. Hey, to be fair, at this point I'm suspecting Aslan is the mermaid. Or maybe there isn't really a mermaid and it's gonna be a fucking metaphor. I thought you wanted to be my friend because you like my brother. Well, I do like your brother, obviously, Aslan says, her cheeks turning pink. But if I was only interested in him, I wouldn't keep talking to you, would I? I mean, he's at university now. I guess not, I say, because this is a valid point I hadn't really thought about. It could be. Look, I keep thinking more and more that Inobi may be the mermaid who has forbidden love instead of an actual just fucking mermaid. I talk to you because I like talking to you. I can't stand how mean the other girls are to you. It isn't fair. The world isn't fair, I tell her again, because it isn't. Maybe not, but I'm gonna stick by your side all the same. I care about you, Lilac. You can rely on me, and you can rely on your brother too. Do you really think so? I'm not sure why I value Aslan's opinion so very much. She's an idiot after all. But she is popular, and most people like her, so she must know some things I don't. Maybe she isn't as stupid as she looks. I think so, Aslan says firmly. I know how much Jesse cares about you. He's a nice person, and he won't abandon you. He wouldn't do that. You know, I there I looked at the images. I looked at the preview images, and it did show someone that I can only presume is Jesse. So we will at least see Jesse at some point. So it might just be the three of them. We'll see. You're just saying that because you like him. Also, spoiler alert, Jesse's the most basic bitch looking guy from what I saw. Anyway, I like him because he's a good person. He's good looking too. He's 19. He's too old for you. You're 13, bitch. Anyway, and I had inside my head, if you make a move on him, I will never talk to you ever again. Even if you're my only friend, because I love my brother much more than you could imagine, you idiots. How could I? Easily. Well, maybe, Aslan says, her face turning pink again, as it often does when Jesse comes up. But he's your brother, right? You should know him even better than I do. Okay, I have to step away for a moment. One, because ads are about to run, and I don't want anyone to miss this hot content. But also because I need to refill my water cup, because this is more talking than I normally do. So, I will be right back, but don't worry. You will not miss anything, I promise, of this wonderful, wonderful experience. So, I will see y'all in just a minute. No, Lux, not again. Oh, Lord. Why are ads like that? That's so wild. Anyway, we can't miss out on this hot content. So Let's get back to the story. We can't miss our stories, chat. They come on every day at 1 p.m. while the kids are at school and only old people are at home to watch them. I don't remember if I read this or not. I know him much, much better than you do, I tell her. Then you should know he'll always be there for you, no matter what. That's why you shouldn't be sad. I'm sure he'll call you soon. You just need to have more faith. That's what Miss Corey says, too. And she's right. Stop being so mopey. Now finish up your iced finger. They always cheer me up when I'm sad. Also, hi Cece, welcome in. I'm. This has been a fucking trip and a half. So welcome along for the ride. I can't imagine Aslan ever being sad. She is perpetually cheerful. She hardly ever frowns. Oh, also, I should introduce you. On the left, we have Aislinn, who I keep pronouncing as Aslan. And we have Lilac on the right, who, is Anobi Darkraven. Or whatever the fuck her last name was. I actually don't remember at this point. She isn't like me. Then again, most people aren't. The school day passes without event. Interesting things rarely happen at school. Even the endless parade of bullying has become boring. I have heard every insult dozens of times before. Hey, you know what? I, I got the dark and I got the raven. Close enough. Mrs. Lambert, my nasty English teacher, gives us our scores for our English projects, which we handed in last week. She asked us to write an article about our hometown or village, highlighting, to use her own words, the more interesting aspects of it. As I live in Zennor, which is very small, there isn't much to write about. When I looked Zennor up online, I learned that the famous writer D.H. Lawrence lived in Zennor for a while. Mrs. Lambert told me I should write about that, but I didn't feel like it. So you found something interesting about your middle of nowhere hamlet, and you just went, nah, I'm not gonna write. What the hell? I thought D.H. Lawrence was boring, so I wrote about the Mermaid of Zennor instead. I wrote a lot about the mermaid, actually. I wrote pages and pages, much more than anybody else, but Mrs. Lambert can't have appreciated it very much, because she gave me a D? What the fuck? How did I read an F? Whatever. She said that, though my essay was well written, I was supposed to write a factual account about my village, not a fairy tale. Your paragraphs are well divided, and your vocabulary is diverse, Miss Lambert wrote on my homework in red pen. But you strayed too far from the subject matter. Read the question more carefully next time, Lilac. I don't know why she punctuated her criticism with 3 exclamation points. I thought Mrs. Lambert was supposed to be an English teacher. She should know how unnecessary it is to use more than 1 exclamation point. How can I take her comments seriously when she is so bad at writing herself? Wow, okay. What the fuck ever, kid? I don't think my essay about the Mermaid of Zennor annoyed her. I seem to annoy. Oh, I do think she does think it annoyed her. I seem to annoy all of my teachers, but I annoy Mrs. Lambert most of all, because she thinks I have potential, but I never listen to what she says. Mrs. Lambert tells me I daydream too often in class, which I do, but that is her fault, because her lessons are boring, and so are the books we have to read. Okay, I have to admit, I am jiving with this character a little bit too much at the moment because like that's entirely how I was in high school. I'll fully admit I was that kid who was like, "Damn, this is boring. I don't need to know this. Let me just stare at the fucking wall and not listen to my teachers at all." I would pay more attention if we were allowed to read exciting books, like the Discworld series, which are some of my favorites because my brother likes them, instead of A Christmas Carol, which is boring. Okay, A Christmas Carol. There's one, yes, Discworld mentioned. That's kind of dope. But also, there are much worse classical books you could be made to read in school than A Christmas Carol. A Christmas Carol's not that bad. And if you really don't want to read it, just watch the Muppet version, which is the superior version of A Christmas Carol anyway. I don't know why we're reading A Christmas Carol anyway, because it's not Christmas yet. It'll be Christmas soon, because it's November, but it's still a whole month away. Teachers are stupid. No, they're not. Fuck you. My classmates are stupid. More acceptable. School is stupid. Debatable. Miss Corey isn't stupid, though. I think Miss Corey is rather smart. I like her much, much more than I like Mr. Penrose, Mrs. Lambert, and the rest of the teachers. Yeah, exactly. It's not even a book. It's not that long. Like, get the fuck over it. After school on Mondays and Thursdays, I have to go to Miss Corey's office, not her class, for half an hour. Miss Corey says it's for a friendly chat. She even brews tea and prepares biscuits, though she probably isn't meant to do that, because she is my teacher and not my friend. Hey, she likes Discworld. She only likes it because her brother does, but she likes Discworld, so there's at least that. It isn't a friendly chat, though. Miss Corey doesn't see me because she wants to. This is actually a counseling session, which I have to attend because last year, when I was in year 8, I stabbed Megan in the hand with a compass in maths class because she said mean things about my brother. Holy shit. She did. Okay, well, I feel like, okay, I have to take a second. Because she said earlier that she talks to this counselor because she was swearing at someone, and now she tells us she's fucking stabbed someone. Those are not the same thing. Yeah, she stabbed a girl with a compass. What the fuck? Alright, well. She said I was from a family full of freaks, which wouldn't normally upset me because I don't like dad or mom, and I don't like myself much either. Then she said my brother seemed normal, but he was probably just as messed up as I was, and that made me angry. So I stabbed her. I think it was a reasonable response, but my math teacher disagreed, so I was sent to the headmaster's office. The headmaster asked me why I stabbed Megan. I said it was because she was rude to my brother, and the headmaster said he could understand why that may have made me angry, but most people don't stab their classmates when they're in a bad mood. Damn. I said Megan and her friends were always mean to me. I had tried to ignore it, but picking on my brother was the last straw. The headmaster was sympathetic, but he was still suspended me from school for 3 days. Then I had to do a psychiatric evaluation, and the doctor at the hospital said I had some unresolved problems, so now I have to have counseling sessions with Miss Corey. No, you're so right, Cece. It's the hot teen emotion of feeling stabby. Like, we've all been there, surely. The headmaster told Megan off for being mean to me, but he didn't give her a suspension, which I thought was horribly unfair. Megan stopped teasing me for a little bit, maybe because she was scared of me. But after a few weeks, the teasing started all over again, so I don't think it helped. I like talking to Miss Curry, though. I like her tea, and I even like the biscuits, so I suppose it could be worse. Yeah, Anobi needs a lot more than just counseling. I feel like she got off pretty easy, from the psychiatric eval of just some school counseling. Oh shit, it's the bedroom, but in color this time. Oh, this isn't even a bedroom. This is the office. Why does this office look the same as the bedroom we saw earlier? I enter Miss Corey's office, close the door behind me, and take a seat. Hello, Lilac, Miss Corey says with a smile, like she really is happy to see me and this isn't part of her job. How was your day? It was the same as always, I say after a long pause. Wow, music really picked up in here a bit. I hope Megan and her friends weren't being mean to you, Miss Curry asks. No, not really, I say, which isn't entirely true, but it's also not really a lie. They teased me on the bus, and they threw a packet of gum at my head, but they always do things like that, and I'm used to it. Well, if you're sure, Miss Corey says. She doesn't sound very sure herself, but she drops the subject. Now, would you like a cup of tea? I have some new leaves. Rose hip is supposed to be good for headaches. I don't have a headache, but I would like some tea, please. Wonderful. I'll put the kettle on. Miss Curry removes her portable kettle from the bottommost drawer of her desk and plugs it into the socket on the wall. She did move, you're right. She fills the kettle up with water from a drinking flask, then turns it on. The kettle beeps and the water inside begins to boil. Miss Corey winks at me conspiratorially and presses a finger against her lips. Keep quiet about this, alright? This is our little secret. I was about to question the fact that she's keeping this kettle in a drawer of her desk instead of just on the desk. But is this a contraband tea kettle? Is she not allowed to have this electric kettle in her office? Like, this is set in England of all places. Wouldn't it be normal for someone to just have a kettle? Hell, I've had a kettle on my desk at work before. Whatever. Anyway, I nod. Miss Curry isn't supposed to— oh, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch, we're right on top of it. Miss Curry isn't supposed to have a portable kettle in her office. It's against health and safety rules. Apparently it could be a fire hazard, but that sounds stupid to me. I do agree that's kind of dumb as a fire hazard, because a majority of kettles nowadays, have safety features in them to shut themselves off if they're, empty and running. But also, even if they don't, I don't know. How do you— ow. Yeah, Cece, that probably tracks. Miss Curry takes 2 cups from her cupboard and fills them with tea leaves. Steam begins to rise from the kettle. The water inside bubbles. Miss Curry picks up the kettle and fills the 2 cups with hot water. Then she hands the cup to me. Be careful, she says gently, in a way I imagine my mother might talk to me if she didn't— hey, damn, it's hot. I know, I can tell, I can see the steam. Ah, damn. Alright, so apparently I just don't know enough about the safety regulations against electric kettles. So that's my bad, I guess. Or, conversely, I should know it maybe, and Comcast just didn't fucking care, because there were multiple people with kettles on their desks, and they didn't say shit to us. I'm sorry for being such an old fusspot, Lilac. You're more than capable of looking after yourself. The headmaster doesn't think that, I tell her, as I accept my cup of piping hot tea from her hands, or he wouldn't make me see you for counseling sessions twice every week. Oh, are you not supposed to plug kettles into a power strip? I'm learning all kinds of shit today. Oh, Lilac, Miss Curry says as she sighs, I've already told you. On paper, these might be counseling sessions, but I'd much prefer to sit and talk. Isn't that more relaxing? That's what counseling is. But they are counseling sessions, I remind her, in case she has forgotten. That's what the headmaster said. Well, they are, yes, but that doesn't mean we have to be so stiff and formal. Miss Curry looks at her cup of tea. She always drinks from a cup with the words, I love my mother on it, which might have been a present from her son. Shrap? Whose photograph is on her desk, but I doubt it. I'm just not going to try without him. Miss Curry has told me a bit about her son, and he is only 4 years old. He's not old enough to buy anybody presents. Her husband probably bought it for her instead. It must be nice, I think, to have a family who loves you, who buys you things. I drink from a pale purple cup with white spots on it that Miss Curry says she bought specifically for me. Close enough. It's lilac, she told me when she first showed me the cup. Just like you. Don't you think it's adorable? I don't think things like cups are adorable, because they're cold and made of ceramic. But I didn't want to tell Miss Corey I thought she was being silly, because I probably would hurt her feelings. The psychological examination I had to take in the hospital said I was unusually withdrawn and inexpressive for a girl my age. No fucking shit. Apparently, this is because I'm on the autistic spectrum. The doctor said my condition was quite evident, and he was surprised I hadn't been diagnosed at a younger age. But I did not find it that surprising myself. My parents do not care about me enough to pay attention to me. Oh god, I know I should be taking this more seriously, but it's very hard to do so. Lilac, Miss Curry says, do you dislike our little chats? Yeah, it's going there. This is certainly going, places. No, I don't. I like spending time with you. Well, that's a relief, Miss Corey says. I can't always tell with you. I'd hate to think that I was boring you. You're not boring, I reassure her. Because even adults like Miss Curry need reassuring sometimes. You're nice to me, and you make me tea, and you give me biscuits. I like that. Ah, yes, the biscuits. I almost forgot, Miss Curry says. She opens her magical drawer again, where she keeps her cups and her kettle, and removes a packet of ginger nuts. Hey, Herminator. I'm glad I am not ginger, like Macy Potts in my class, or I would probably get bullied even more than I already do. Wow. Goodness gracious. Yeah, run. Fucking run. Please. Here, take one, Miss Curry says, and I do. I pluck a ginger nut from the packet and start to eat. I don't like sweets very much, but I make an exception for Miss Curry's biscuits. I probably shouldn't have any myself, Miss Curry says, looking at the packet ruefully. You can take another, Lilac. Why, I ask her. Don't you like ginger nuts? I do, but I'm trying to lose weight. I've not been quite the same since Shara was born. I look Miss Curry up and down, holding my biscuit in my fingers. Okay. This feels unnecessary. Miss Curry is a bit on the chubby side, with round cheeks like a rabbit's, but I don't think she's an ugly person. She's too kind to be ugly. Fucking why? Okay, but Herminator, you don't understand. We have a combination of mermaids, alleged mermaids. We're gonna call it alleged mermaids, an incestuous 13-year-old, and it just keeps fucking getting weirder, like with every passing 10 minutes. Oh, it's also, we also have, Anobi, Darkness Raven up in here. Oh, Cece. Yeah, first fucking sentence of it is, I love my brother. No, not even I love my brother. I'm in love with my brother. First sentence. You certainly can. I will look that up later because I'm curious. Yeah, this is certainly something. It's going places. Wait, why are we talking about Megan? Hold on. Why did we transition to Megan? Oh, I'm not done. This is definitely not getting more than one stream out of me, but like I'm embracing the curse just because like I'm having a good time with how fucking weird and silly this is. Like Miss Curry's a bit on the chip. Okay, I read that one. Cool. Megan is very, very pretty. Even prettier than Aslan, maybe, but she is ugly on the inside, and that is much, much worse than being a bit fat. Wow. Why would you? Why? Why would you say that? Good lord, this kid. Fuck that. Miss Gray laughs, though I don't understand why, and shakes her head. I always know where I stand with you, Lilac. You're not one for white lies, are you? I don't see the point in lying. Isn't it better to be honest? Yes, yes, you're quite right. I should stay away from the sweets, I know, but surely one won't hurt. She takes a biscuit and puts it in her mouth. The two of us sit there for a few minutes in silence, eating biscuits and drinking tea. Oh, I mean, yeah, no, I 100% agree. I would, like, being a terrible person is much, much worse than being a bit fat, without a doubt. It's just, I Sarah turns one biscuit into two, then three, then four, but I don't point this out, because it looks like she's enjoying herself. I like it when Miss Corey smiles at me. Miss Corey's office smells of freshly brewed tea. It is a warm, relaxing smell that makes me feel at ease. She should be feeling stabby right now. The sunlight, oh shit! Anobi is smiling. I think it's the first time this character has smiled this whole game. The sunlight streams in through the window, illuminating spots of dust that drift in the air. It's winter, and the sun will probably set soon, but for now everything is nice and warm and safe and bright. Speaking of snacks, Miss Corey says, once she has polished off another biscuit and taken a sip of her tea, have you been eating well? You've been remembering to have breakfast, I hope. Not every day, I tell her. I don't feel like it. Couldn't you eat something small, like a yogurt or... Is this a... Why is there an H in yogurt? Is that like the extra U in things when in British English? I don't think I've ever noticed that. Anyway. Or freeze some fresh fruit. See, that's what I was assuming. I don't like yogurt or fruit. Oh dear, what a picky girl you are. But you have no problem eating my biscuits. That's because I like being in your office. It feels safe. I'm glad to hear that, Miss Corey says. She's frowning and she doesn't look very glad. But does that mean you don't feel safe at home? Not really, I say. Is your father still in a bad temper? Miss Corey asks. He's always in a bad temper. He doesn't shout at you, does he? Does he say cruel things or insult you? He used to scold me a lot, but he doesn't talk to me very much now. It's like I don't even exist. There's the phrase. There's the classic, we need you to know that this is some kind of psychology section of something. And how does that make you feel? I shrug. It doesn't bother you? I don't know. Maybe I like this better. At least it's quiet at home. But you don't feel safe there? It isn't that I don't feel safe, I tell her, trying to puzzle my way through my own feelings. But home isn't a nice place. It doesn't feel right. Not since my brother left. I see, Miss Curry says with a small sigh. So you're still missing Jesse, are you? Of course I miss him. I love him. Oh yes, I know how close the two of you were. It really is a shame that he had to leave. But I'm sure he's having fun in London, Miss Curry says, as though this will make me feel better about his absence. It doesn't. It actually makes me feel worse. Is that why you haven't been eating? Are you worried about your brother? word is not the right word. I nod. And what is your sleep schedule? Are you getting enough rest? I shake my head. I thought as much. You have such dark rings beneath your eyes, you look like a little panda. I'm surprised you don't fall asleep in class more often. I do fall asleep in class sometimes, but only in boring classes like English. Now don't be so wicked towards poor Mrs. Lambert. She's doing her best, you know. But she gave me a D in my English report. Even though she said my vocabulary was good, she gave me a bad score because she doesn't like mermaids. Mermaids. We were supposed to research the village or town or city we live in and write an article about it. Mrs. Lambert said I should write about D.H. Lawrence because he used to live in Zennor. But I thought was boring, so I wrote about mermaids instead. I got a D in English because my teacher doesn't like mermaids. Sorry. Well, Mrs. Lambert did say you had to write about facts, Miss Corey says, her voice trailing off. They are facts, I retort. I found the story on the internet. Who the fuck would go on the internet and lie? Who would do that? But it is a story, Miss Corey says doubtfully. Mrs. Lambert didn't want you to write about legends or fairy stories, though it does sound like splitting hairs to me. She's being harsh because she hates me because I fall asleep in class sometimes. Nope. Please don't say things like that, Lilac. What, cow? That's right. This might be a friendly chat, but if you say cruel and hurtful things, I'll have to tell Mrs. Lambert. And then what do you think will happen? I slid down in my chair, eyes narrowed. I'll get in trouble again. That's right, Mrs. Curry says. So behave yourself. I know you can be a sweet girl when you want. Let's turn that frown upside down. Damn. Turn this frown upside down. Depression cured. I don't feel like smiling. Not without Jessie. Damn it. Uncured. It sounds like this absence really has taken a toll on you. If you don't eat or sleep, you'll make yourself ill. And I'm sure Jessie wouldn't want that. If I got ill, it might make him come back quicker. He'll come back in due time. You don't need to cause yourself injury to make him care. Honestly, you're pining after him like a lovesick puppy. You don't know the fucking half of it, misguidance counselor. I don't say anything because Miss Curry is probably right. I am pining for him, and I do feel lovesick. I can't tell her that, though. I can't tell anybody how I feel about Jessie. Look, I'm gonna be so real. Part of the reason I'm so going with this is I want you all to see just how basic this brother is that she's pining after so much. Being a human is so exhausting. Why don't you try and look on the bright side, dear? Jessie isn't the only friend you have. I'm here for you, as you know. And there's Aslan, too, isn't there? She's a nice girl. I don't know how I feel about Aslan. Don't you appreciate her company? I've seen the two of you eating lunch together. You look quite pally. I don't mind if Aslan wants to be my friend, but I don't know why she does. It bothers me. We don't have anything in common. I'm sure she likes you because you're a nice girl, no matter what you might think. Who wouldn't want to be your friend? Clearly lots of people. Isla and Phoebe and Lucy and Megan don't. Oh, well, they might be a bit too immature to understand you. They have stopped teasing you, haven't they? If there were any problems, you would tell me, wouldn't you? Don't worry, I try to reassure Miss Curry. I won't stab Megan with a compass again. Yeah. Isn't that how all teachers grade papers based on whether or not they like mermaids? I'm pretty sure I got a C on a math paper once because my teacher just didn't like mermaids. That isn't what I meant, said Miss Curry with a sigh. But, well, if you insist there's nothing wrong, I won't pry. That's what I like about Miss Corey. She might ask me a lot of uncomfortable questions I don't know the answers to. She stops if she can tell it's too much for me, and she never gets cross. I wish all adults were like her. Now, I know you're missing Jesse, but you'll see him again soon. Until then, you should try to be nicer to Aslan. If you push her away, you'll only make yourself more miserable. Nope. Where the fuck did those words come from? You'll only make yourself feel more isolated. I know that, I say, and I frown, because I don't hate Aslan at all, even if I think she's stupid. But being with her doesn't make me miss Jesse less. In fact, being with Aslan makes me think about Jesse more, because I know Aslan has a crush on him, which isn't fair, because he's my brother, and she really should have asked for my permission first. Oh, buddy. I know Aslan is a nice girl, and I know I'm not always nice to her, but I don't feel like being nice when Jesse isn't here. I wish Miss Curry would understand that. But nobody does. Nobody understands you. Oh shit. I have dinner when I get home, but it's a chicken and mushroom pie, and I don't like mushrooms, so I only pick at it. Chicken mushroom pie sounds good, actually. My mother asked me if I will please eat a bit more, but it sounds like she's begging. It sounds more like she's begging than asking, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. I know, we have a whole new scene. There's a fridge and a very weird utensil holder on the wall. I do my best to eat, but the mushrooms look very thin and gray and anemic, and when I put them in my mouth, I gag. My mother sighs and shakes her head and says, "Oh, Lilac, what is to be done with you?" And I tell her that I don't know. You're getting so skinny. If you don't eat, we'll have the Child Protection Services around. They'll think we're abusing you. Oh shit, she's got a hoodie. Look at that fucking hoodie. I do eat. I had an iced finger this morning, and I had some sandwiches at lunch, and I ate 4 ginger nuts with Mrs. Corey. Well, so long as you're eating something, my mother says. But she sounds doubtful. I say that I am, and I push my chicken and mushroom pie away and ask if I can be excused. My mother looks tired, and I don't think she likes talking to me, so she says yes. Dad doesn't say anything. Yeah, it's the sadness hoodie. Everyone knows that when there's a sad 13-year-old, the only options are school uniform and sad hoodie. Those are the only 2 outfits you're allowed to own. I rise from the table and scrape my uneaten food into the bin, and then I go upstairs to my bedroom. Oh shit, she walked. She fucking walked. I'm supposed to read a chapter of A Christmas Carol. Okay, so I could be misremembering, but I really don't remember A Christmas Carol being that long. How many chapters even is A Christmas Carol? Because I feel like you can read that story in like an hour. I don't remember it being that long. I'm supposed to read a chapter of Christmas Carol from English homework, but I'm angry at Mrs. Lambert because she gave me a D on my homework, and I don't want to read A Christmas Carol because it's boring, so I don't. I take out my old marker pens instead, and I try to draw. I like drawing, and I find it relaxing, but I don't feel very relaxed right now. Exactly, it's a short fucking story. Why are they breaking it into sections at all? Just read the whole thing. I can't stop thinking about Jesse. It's been more than a week since he last called me, and I can't stop worrying about him. My head is so filled up with thoughts about Jesse that it feels like it will explode. That's why I go into his room. We're speedrunning new scenes at this point. Hot damn. I push his bedroom door open slowly, trying not to make any noise. I don't know why I care so much. I know Jesse is not here, so why should I worry about disturbing him? But I worry all the same. It's been a while since I last came into Jesse's room. It looks different than I remember. When Jesse and me were younger, we used to spend a lot of time in his room. I'd sit on the edge of his bed and he would tell me silly jokes, or he would read me bits from his favorite Discworld books, or he'd play the guitar. Jesse plays the guitar because he's talented, unlike me. I couldn't play the guitar if I wanted to. I am too clumsy. Excuse you, Lux. Look at the sockets on the walls by that desk. Those are absolutely not US sockets. I don't really want to play the guitar though. I'm not interested in it. It's just a block of wood. It's not, but whatever. I was more interested in the guitar when it was in Jesse's hands. I liked sitting on his bed, by Jesse's side, while he held his guitar, a scuffed old instrument he bought from a second-hand shop in St. Ives, and played. I don't really remember the songs he played, but I remember feeling very safe and warm and relaxed with him. It was a bit like being in Mrs. Corey's office, but better. Jesse has very firm, strong hands. He held the guitar tightly and never dropped it. He sometimes paused when he was playing and laughed, telling me he had made a mistake. But he was wrong, because he never makes mistakes. Oh, man. I think Jesse is perfect. That's why I love him. I really do love him. So why? Jesse. I say his name softly, though I'm not sure why, because I know he can't hear me, as I trail my fingers against the headboard of his bed where he used to sit. His room isn't the same as it used to be, because Jesse doesn't sleep in his bed anymore. He doesn't keep his clothes in his covers, with all the drawers are empty. His guitar is gone, and some of his books are missing from the shelves, and the posters have been removed from the walls. His bed doesn't even have any covers on it. There's just a mattress. Excuse me? There are definitely blankets on that bed. There's just a mattress left, which feels hard and uncomfortable. He took everything in university. He took everything that is important to him, but he left me behind. Aren't I more important than his guitar and his poster and his sheets? But I am bigger than a guitar, and some posters and his bed covers, and I am heavier, and I would be harder to bring me to London with him on the train. Look, it is very much giving New Moon, I agree. There are lots of logistical issues with my idea. It isn't practical. But he could have tried. Hey, Big, do you think if she had written about mermaids in proper MLA format, do you think she would have gotten a better grade? Now there are white rectangles on his walls where his posters were, and gaps in his bookcase where his favorite Discworld books were, and a pain in my heart where my big brother was. Hey, C's get degrees. Why did he have to leave me when he has a perfectly nice bedroom here? It's much nicer than mine. Yeah, I agree. Big just like mermaids. Especially not theoretical mermaids. I walked towards his wardrobe. My footsteps sound too loud, and they hurt my ears. I reach out and take hold of the handle of his wardrobe door. I turn it, though I already know what will be inside. And what am I expecting, really? Some of Jesse's clothes are still inside his wardrobe. His old white school shirts, which he wore when he went to St. Ives School, are hanging there like ghosts. So are his old, plain, black school trousers, and a few sweaters, and a pair of trousers he bought from a charity shop in St. Ives that have always been too big for him. No! No, Lux, no! I'm terrified to move forward because I think that might happen. The rest of Jesse's clothes, his nice leather jacket that smells of pine, his t-shirts with faded band logos, and his Converse trainers are gone. He took everything else and left me with nothing. He even took the photographs. Look at this photograph. He used to have blue tacked on his wardrobe doors of him with his guitar and me holding his hand, and a pair of us on a trip to an old castle back when Dad and Mom still took us on trips. They haven't in a while. What do I have to remember Jesse with now? The old cast-off clothes he doesn't want, and leftover blue tack on his wardrobe door where our faces used to be. Mrs. Corey told me I should be optimistic. She said I should focus on what I do have, rather than what I don't have. That's easy for her to say. She has a husband and a son who loves her, but I have nothing. Being in Jesse's room always used to comfort me, but now it reminds me of what I don't have. Look, I'm such a slut for trophies, so this is giving me the dopamine hit, but I ain't doing shit for these. So, you know what? I'll take it. It isn't fair, I say, and I take one of Jesse's... Oh, son of a bitch, she's smelling the shirt. Lux, what have you done? I blame you for this. I bury my nose in his shirt. Smell it. But it doesn't smell like Jesse. It smells like the inside of his wardrobe. My eyes are starting to sting. I'm crying. I nuzzle my face against Jesse's shirt, which doesn't smell of him, and pretend that I am hugging my brother, and he is hugging me back, and everything is alright. It doesn't cheer me up. I'm not good at telling lies, especially not to myself. Why did you leave me? I say, my voice muffled by the fabric of the shirt. Why? Yeah, it really doesn't soften the blow. It doesn't at all. The shirt does not answer, of course, because it's a shirt. What in the fanfiction.net is this? The shirt does not answer, of course, because it is a shirt. But even if it did I know what it would say? Oh, goodness. He had to leave, the shirt would say, because he got accepted to a good university in London. Aren't you happy for him? For some reason, the shirt Y'all, I want you to know I am literally in tears laughing at this. For some reason, the shirt sounds a lot like Mrs. Kari. She's always very sensible. I'm happy for him, I mumble, my cheeks red and my face blotchy with tears, but I wish I could have gone with him. You can't, because you haven't finished secondary school yet, the shirt explains kindly. If you want to stay with your brother, you need to get older. You're right, we do, yeah. Whole cycle of grief for every ridiculous story beat. Yeah, the shirt is kind of talking to her at the moment, I think. But how can I get older, I ask? By fucking existing? You need to wait like everybody else, the shirt says. But I've waited too long already. It feels like he's been gone forever. It's unbearable. It hurts so much I can't eat, and I can't sleep, and I can't live. You'll need to do your best, the shirt says. That's all you can do. Look, yeah, hey, you know, that is true. It's a visual novel that's janky, and it's not PQ. It's Penguin Pop Games, I believe? I could be misremembering. But how can I do that? What should I do, I ask. I can't tell you that, because I am only a shirt. Oh, boy. Oh, goodness gracious. Like, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but, like, it's very fanfiction coded in the way it's written. I can't tell you that because I am only a shirt, the shirt says, and it's quite right too. I wipe my nose on the shirt, staining it with with a trail of green snot, and then crumple it in a ball and throw it on the floor. At least put it in the laundry basket. You're not very helpful, I say, though I know I'm being ridiculous. You're nothing like my brother. I thought Jesse cared about me more than anybody or anything else, but he took his guitar to university with him, and that's not even real. What? He took his guitar to university with him, and that's not even real. I don't understand what that means. Well, it is real, because it's a solid object you can hold in your hands, but it isn't real at the same time because it doesn't have thoughts or feelings or a heart that can be broken. It isn't real the same way that I am real. Sometimes I think maybe I'm not real, and sometimes I think maybe everybody else is not real, because how can I know they are not figments of my imagination? But I know Jesse is real. He has to be, or my world would have no meaning. He has to be, but it has been so long since I last saw or heard him. Oh, excuse me. How do I know if he has been stabbed, or shot, or poisoned, or... Yeah, you see? If I had stopped when you said, we wouldn't have had the shirt can't tell me more because it's a shirt. We would be missing that content. Oh, I say, I blink, because I can hear something. The phone in the kitchen is ringing, not reading. It could be Jesse. I can't sit here feeling sorry for myself. I need to answer as soon as possible. This is important. Oh, is she gonna zoom again? Meow. Sorry. I leave Jesse's room, slamming the door behind me, and run down the stairs. I take them two at a time. I almost slip and fall at the bottom of the steps. I am having too good of a time with this, I fear. I pick up the old plastic phone, which is laying in its cradle next to the bowl of fake flowers. Hello, I say as I press the phone to my ear. There's a pause, and then... Lilac? Says a very familiar voice on the other end. Oh shit, the music's pumping now. Lilac, is that you? My grip tightens around the plastic case of the telephone so tightly that my knuckles turn white. I know who that voice belongs to. I think about this voice hundreds, no thousands of times, every single day, because it belongs to the one person I love more than anybody in the world, and everything he says sounds sweet and warm and gentle. It's Jesse! And James! And Meowth! Jesse, I say, and I think my voice sounds higher than usual. I missed you! Hey, Lilac, Jesse says, and I can tell he's laughing. I missed you too. I feel like it's been a long time. Yes, I say stiffly, and although I'm glad Jesse's called me, I'm a little bit annoyed that it took so long. I don't want to be angry with my brother because I love him, and it isn't nice being angry with the person you love. But Mrs. Cowrie is always asking me how I feel, and she isn't even related to me. Jesse is my brother, even if he is only a half-brother, so he must care about me at least 50% more than Mrs. Cowrie does, and he must want to know how I feel. I don't want to keep this to myself. Yes, he is a half-brother. Because Jesse's mom died, and then the dad remarried, and Anope here was born. So they are half siblings. I was really hoping when at the beginning she mentioned not being like full siblings that maybe they were step siblings, but no, they are still blood related, unfortunately. All the upset and resentment that has been building up inside me for the last week comes rushing to the surface. It is impossible to keep in. It's been a long time, I tell Jesse, gripping the phone tighter and tighter, because you didn't call me when you said you would. I've been waiting for over a week. Look, Vig, I agree with the shaking the head. Like, Would I have been happy with a thinly veiled excuse of, oh, they're step siblings? No, but it would still be better than what we have. Ah, yes, I'm sorry about that, Lilac. I've just been so busy. I meant to call you, really, but I had so much work to do. Lux, what the fuck kind of math is that? Jesse sounds guilty. And though part of me wants to stay mad at him, another part of me wants to tell him that it's all in the past and I would forgive him for anything because I love him. Is university difficult? I ask. It isn't all fun and games, Jesse says, but I'm coping, I guess. I probably shouldn't wait until the last minute to finish my assignments, though. Waiting until the last minute is bad, but I do that too. Then I get in trouble. Are you having a hard time, Lilac? Jesse asks, and his voice is so gentle that my heart feels like it's melting. Oh, shit, you're so right. All we need to settle this is Hell in a Cell. That'll solve all of these problems. It isn't too hard, I tell him, because I don't want him to worry about me. You're probably having a harder time. What is London like? Big. Big, scared, holy shit. Jesse's talking straight to you, this mediocre but apparently so seductive man. Jesse isn't like Dad, who is stony and silent, and he isn't like my mother, who's quiet and retiring? I don't think I've ever seen the word retiring used in that manner, but okay. Jesse is loud, but not in an annoying way like Aslan. He is almost always smiling, and he brings laughter with him wherever he goes. The house has felt a lot quieter and sadder and lonelier without him. Oh, fair enough. I've just never seen it used that way. You haven't gotten lost in London, have you? I ask him seriously. Once or twice, Jesse says, but I think he's lying. I can practically hear him squirming on the other end of the line. Once or twice, I say. Are you sure that's all? Ouch, you're not letting me catch a break, are you, Lil? Do you want to hear about my failures that badly? No, I tell him. I just want to know if you've been alright. Oh, so that's it. That's it? And here I was thinking you were trying to take a dig at me. I should have known better. You'd never do anything so callous. Homie, you're saying this about your sister who literally stabbed someone. So have you gotten lost, I asked. Oh, all the time in the beginning. Everybody says the underground is easy to navigate, but there's nothing like that in Cornwall, so I got a bit confused. I was late to my lectures on more than one occasion. I hope you didn't get in trouble. People are always late to uni lectures, Jesse says airily. It's how uni is. It isn't at all like school. Don't you get told off? Not really. I'd only be in trouble if I failed to hand in any of my papers. Other than that, it seems the profs don't care that much. Wow, I wish Mrs. Lambert didn't care. Mrs. Lambert, is she still working in St. Ives? Yes, she is. I don't think she likes me very much. She's always picking on me. She gave me a D in my English homework because I didn't write about D.H. Lawrence. But it isn't my fault. He's boring. Don't pay attention to her. She's a silly old bat. Ah, sound advice. She said I should act more like you, I tell Jesse, but that's impossible. There's only one of you. And a good thing, too. You might be my younger sister, but sometimes I think you're more responsible than I am, Jesse says. You have a better sense of direction, at least. I bet you'd get along just fine in London. Do you really think so? Sure, the underground would be easy for you. Sometimes I wish I had you with me to show me around. Well, I say, with my face turning red, I could always come and stay with you for a bit if you wouldn't mind. That might be a good idea. I'd love to show you around. I think you'd like going to St. Paul's Cathedral. Whoops. I'd like to go anywhere with you. Great, then why don't we arrange it sometime? It'll be fun. I feel sorry for you, Lilac, stuck back in some... Fuck. stuck back in Zennor. I know it's a nice place, and sometimes I miss it, but there's so much more to do when you're in London. I think we're actually getting close to maybe seeing this brother. I know, I looked it up in IT class, I say. I don't tell Jesse that I was researching London when I should have been working on my spreadsheet because I want to live with them someday, and I've been doing everything I can to acclimate myself with England's capital. Yeesh. I think that might sound a bit desperate. Busy whistles. I see you've been doing your homework then. Good girl. If you're still having trouble getting around, I can help navigate. I don't want a repeat of what happened in Godrevy Point, sure. Okay, I need to step away. I need to step away for a moment. I'll be back in a few minutes. Ads are gonna play. Holy shit, y'all. This is fucking wild. I will be back in a few minutes. Good lord. He did just good girl his own sister. I don't like it. That feels bad. Anyway, I'll be back in just a few. Have
Carpet Day! Huh? No!
Ooh, buddy. That's a wonderful question, Lux. I do not know what on earth is possibly going to await us down this path. Um, but you know, this is the path we've walked, and me too, truly. Like I don't know where the fuck this is gonna go. Um, but hey, you know, she's smiling, which is rare. Dodgery Point, Jesse asks. We went there a while ago, you and me, I remind him. We got lost, and we nearly missed the last bus back. And you were very worried. Oh yes, now I remember. That was years ago, back when I still collected fossils. What the fuck? What's that? Okay. You were 14, I tell him, and I was 8. Huh, you know what? I think you're right. So you even remember that trip, do you? I remember all the times I've spent with you, I say proudly. All the memories we've made together over the years are precious to me, and I won't let them go. I forget my French vocabulary the moment it enters my head, and I forget which days I have PE, and sometimes I even forget my own birthday. But I don't forget anything related to Jesse. Huh, trust you to bring up all my weakest moments, Jesse says. I'd almost forgotten myself. I can't slip up when you're around. It was alright, I reassure him, because we didn't miss the last bus home after all, even though you were starting to worry. Well, yeah, anybody would have worried. I'm your older brother, Lilac. It's my job to take care of you. He doesn't mean it that way, Lilac. I like it when you take care of me, I tell Jesse, my voice a little quieter than usual. Jesse smiles. How the fuck do you know he's smiling? You're on the phone. You can't hear anyone smile. That's not how smiles work. I can't hear Jesse smile, obviously, because he's in London and I am in Zennor, and there are 307.6 miles between us. Why are you saying miles? You are in England. Which equates to around 6 hours by car. I looked it up online, but I can always tell when he's smiling. I'm not trying to be rude when I say this, but this feels like it was made by non-British people, because they're very inconsistent in their British, like, idiosyncrasies of language. Because one, why would they say miles instead of kilometers? And also, despite the yogurt with the H, they called them sweaters? And I'm fairly confident they're usually called jumpers. But, whatever. I can tell because I love my brother and I know these things about him. Nobody understands Jesse better than I do. Not Mum or Dad, and certainly not Aslan. That is why I'm the only one who's allowed to be in love with him. I'm legitimately concerned that the end of this game is her, like, murdering her brother. Also, why the fuck is the music so damn loud? Good lord. I don't know if I'm the best at looking after others, I'm afraid. I tried, but I wasn't the cool, reliable older brother I wanted to be. I think you're very cool, I tell him. Well, thanks. I think you're a sweetheart, too. My heart pounds inside my chest, and my stomach coils itself up into knots. I wish I could sit here and listen to Jesse compliment me all day, but time always goes by very fast when we're together, and with each compliment I would probably age 5 years. Then I would die, and we would all be free of this story. At least I would die happy. Anyway, you're more than welcome to come to London whenever you want, but there's something I have to tell you first. What? Well, there's no easy way for me to tell you this, but I can envision him on the other end, his eyes closed, his expression thoughtful. What is he going to tell me? He hasn't been mugged, has he? What if he's been stabbed? Is that why he took such a long time to finally call me? I knew he should never have gone to London. I knew London was a big, dangerous city. I knew he would get in trouble. I knew. I'm coming back to Cornwall over the Christmas holiday, Jesse suddenly announces. Ah, I say, but I don't really say it, because is not a word, it's just a bubble. What the fuck? Okay, whatever. I sit there, staring into space, my eyes wide. Lil, why have you gone so quiet? Are you still there? Hello, Lil? Lil? I continue to stare, my eyes wide. I open my mouth. Then, oh, Jesse, I suddenly exclaim, far more loudly than I anticipated. But how can you blame me when I've been waiting for this moment for so long? Jesse, I'm so happy. I missed you. I really missed you. And I miss you too, Lil. And Jesse says, and he's laughing, like he hasn't just granted me my most earnest wish. That's why I wanted to come down and see you. You did? You missed me? I said, pressing the phone tightly against the side of my head, so probably leave a mark. That's right, Jesse says. Of course I missed you. You're my sister, and you mean the world to me. I want to know you're alright. But my voice falters. I thought you were too busy having fun in London to talk to me. I am busy, but I don't know if finishing up essays counts as fun. I didn't mean to abandon you, Lil. Really, I didn't. I feel bad about it, and that's why I wanted you to be the first to know. And when will I see you? When are you coming back? It is very Twilight coded, yes. Around December 20th. I haven't booked my tickets yet, but you shouldn't have to wait too long. I like London and all, but it's so noisy it'll be nice to escape it for a while. And Christmas is a holiday you're going to spend with family. Holy shit, guys, this is a Christmas game. Jesse, thank you, I say, and I'm so moved I can feel tears prickling in the corners of my eyes again. But this time it isn't from sadness. It's the exact opposite. This is the best Christmas present ever. Hey, don't be too hasty. I'm gonna buy you a real present. I'll bring it back with me. I'm sure you'll love it. I don't need any gifts. I only want to see you. What a sweet girl you are. I don't know what I did to be worthy of such a pure, kind-hearted sister. You're just like an angel, Jesse says, and he's still laughing. Yeah, thank you. Yep.
Big Scared says hydrate or dihydrate.
Thank you for that. I needed it. I wasn't thinking about it. You should also hydrate, though. Yeah, Christmas Carol is starting to make a lot more sense. I'm laughing too, from surprise and relief and sheer gladness, but I'm also crying. It's a very strange combination of emotions that I've never experienced before. The ghost of Jesse's clothing pass, oh god. I can't tell you anymore, because I'm a shirt. I must be making too much noise, because I can hear footsteps, then a low, gruff voice I haven't heard for quite some time. What's going on? My dad says, and I can feel his narrowed eyes boring into my back even though I can't see them. Why are you making such a racket, Lilac? I can't hear the TV. Oh, Dad, I say, turning around. Is that Dad? Jesse says, his voice a little crackly from static. Wonderful timing. Put him on, Lil. I want to tell him about my news, too. I don't want to know what the other ghost garments will be. I'd rather not. I'm a little sad about this, because I want to talk to Jesse for as long as possible. But I have been talking to him for quite a while now, and Dad is Jesse's father, and I know he misses Jesse too. Lux, no, no. Dad has always liked Jesse more than he likes me. That's because Jesse's a child from his first wife, and who he loves more than his current one. And Jesse is good looking and smart and funny, whereas I am weird and useless. What is it, Lilac? Dad asks. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to Jesse. Do you want to speak to him too? He has something important to tell you. Jesse, Dad says, and his eyes widen. Of course I want to talk to him. He practically snatches the phone off me with so much force I'm worried he'll shatter the plastic case and the fragment of Jesse's voice that rests inside it. Jesse, Dad says, his voice demanding. Jesse, is that you? Did something happen? What is it? I watch Dad's face as Jesse relays the news to him. He changes expression so many times it's tiring to simply look at him. I hope that Dad will hand me the phone when he's finished talking to Jesse, but he doesn't think of that. Dad never does. Good God. He puts the phone back in the cradle, cutting the connection with my brother, and then glances at me. Why are you still standing here? Don't you have homework to be doing? Nyom! I go back to my bedroom obediently, without saying a word. Instead, however, my heart is pounding. So Jesse really is gonna come back home for Christmas holidays. He'll be with us in less than a month. Then we'll all be reunited again. It'll be a long wait, but I know I can endure it. I really hope we're about to hit a time skip. I would do anything for my brother. Time skip? Maybe? Oh, that's great news, Aslan says. No, the next morning. Yeah, ugh. Aslan says next morning when I see her in form. You must be so excited. I don't know what to say other than that I am, so I nod. Huh, you don't look very happy, Aslan says, and she frowns. If it were me, I'd be over the moon. I am happy, I tell her. That's why I nodded my head. But you're not even smiling, Aslan says. Do I have to smile? I would if I were in your shoes. But you're not. Fair enough. What the fuck is this dialogue? I don't know why she wants to see me smile. Smiling won't make my brother come back home any faster. And I already did all of my smiling. Aw, shit. Pack it up, everybody. She's met her smile quota for the month. It's hard for me to smile in school when I'm surrounded by girls like Isla and Phoebe and Lucy and Morgan, Megan, and Megan. I won't be back until December, I tell Aslan. That is almost a month away. I need to wait until then. There's no point getting worked up now. You might be right, Aslan says. Still, this is really wonderful. It's wonderful for me, I tell her. But why is it wonderful for you? Jesse isn't your brother. Oh, well, you know how it is, Aslan says vaguely. No, I don't. Well, you know, you're not the only one who likes Jesse. You like him too much, I say. That's the only reason why you talk to me. Oh no, Aslan says, shaking her hands. That isn't true. I like you too, Lilac. But not as much as you like my brother, I say. That's different, Aslan says, as her face turns to speak again. It bothers me when Aslan fawns over my brother, but I know nothing will happen between the pair of them, because she is only 14 and Jesse is 19, and that is against the law. Y'all cannot see my face, but I am not making happy faces. I read about that online. Please don't. Anyway, I can't imagine my brother would be interested in Aslan, even if she is pretty and she smiles a lot. He has me. He has me, the main character of the universe. In no be darkness raven way. Most people don't like me, but Jesse does, and I have faith in him. I start to think about the fun things I'll do with Jesse, and everything I want to tell her. And then I start smiling despite myself, even though I am in a busy classroom and quite noisy and formal. There you go, Aslan says, and she pokes my cheek with her fingertip. What was that for? I ask. You're finally smiling. You hardly ever do that. Because I don't feel like it. I don't have much to smile about. Well, I wish you'd do it more, whether you have a reason or not. You look a lot cuter like that. My brow furrows and I say, I'm not cute. I am plain and ugly. You're not ugly, but maybe you do look a bit plain when you're always frowning. It's such a waste. A smile is a girl's best weapon. Is it? Is it? I feel like the compass was a better weapon. Look, Aslan, uncomprehendingly, I've always thought knives or axes would be more efficient weapons than smiles. Fuck yeah! Aslan says a lot of silly things like that. It's probably because she isn't very smart. You didn't even smile in your school photograph, though the photographer pleaded with you. I didn't feel like it. I don't know him. I shouldn't have to smile for him. But Jesse is different, huh? Of course, he's my brother, and I love him. Geez, Aslan says. It'd be nice if you'd smile at me like that every once in a while. It'd make me feel more appreciated. I don't dislike you, I tell Aslan fairly, but you're not the same as my brother. I know, I can never be what Jesse is to you, but I'd like to think we're friends. We are friends, aren't we? Under normal circumstances, I would tell Aslan to think whatever she likes, but I feel more charitable today. If Aslan wants me to smile, I suppose I could try, though I don't really see the point in it. We are friends, I say. I'm happy that I can talk to you about my brother, and I'm happy that you listen to me. You're a nice person. I'm happy I can talk to you about my brother. My, you really must be in a good mood. You're never normally this happy. Come here. Aslan moves forward, her arms outstretched, the pink fluffy earring hanging from her ears tremble. I think she's gonna give me a hug, and this makes me panic. I shrink back and say, I don't like hugs. They make me feel uncomfortable. Honestly, you know what? That's valid. This character is very, very broken in many ways, but like that's so valid. Oh, I see, Aslan says, and her face falls for a few moments. I can tell I've upset her, and I almost start to feel guilty. But Aslan's frown is soon replaced with a smile. People go through so many emotions on a daily basis, it's hard for me to keep up. I only feel this many emotions when I'm with Jesse, and that tires me out. Well, I can always give you this, Aslan says. She rummages around in her school bag and then draws out a clear plastic bag with an iced finger inside, which is covered in pink icing. Why are you giving me this? It's a symbol of our friendship. Hey, you know what? Pastries is a pretty good symbol of friendship. I'll give her that. No, it's not. It's an iced finger. Well, whatever it is, you should eat it. I got it just for you since you ate that once. Since you ate that once that I gave you yesterday. I figured you must like it. So here. Yeah, this child is extremely autistic. I don't really like iced fingers. The pink icing is very bright and shiny, and it feels synthetic beneath the lights of the classroom. It sticks to my teeth with sugar sweetness, and it makes me feel ill. It's alright. I don't... But then I look at Aslan's face. She's watching me hopefully, a tentative smile on her face. I already ruined her previous smile. I don't want to ruin this one too. Thank you, I say instead. That was very kind of you. You don't need to thank me. This is just what friends do. Friends, I repeat, blinking like one of those old-fashioned dolls you can find in charity stores. We are friends. I've known Aslan for 2 years, but I've never really considered her a friend before. Having friends sounds like too much work. People exhaust me, and I don't understand them. I often don't have the energy to try. But Aslan's smile makes me think it might be worth the effort. Perhaps Aslan was right about the smiles. They're good weapons. They're certainly very persuasive. If I smiled more people would like me like they like Aslan. Would more people like me like they like Aslan? If more people liked me, I would not be alone, even when Jesse is in London. I don't want Jesse to worry about me. So I smile. I smile at Aslan and she smiles back at me, and for some reason, smiling doesn't feel nearly as difficult as it used to. Time passes incredibly slow after Jesse's telephone call. Each second lasts a minute, each minute lasts an hour, and each hour lasts a day. and each day stretches out further and forever and into eternity. Close enough. Oh, you're right, she is ray-coded. I didn't think about that. Of course, I know that seconds are not minutes, and minutes are not hours, and hours are not day, and I'm not sure if eternity exists, because one day all of humanity will be wiped out when the sun explodes. I'm not stupid. Oh, boy. Yeah, no, I agree, Cece. Like, that was, like, there was some real positive improvement to the story, at least briefly. I am much less uncomfortable, at least at the moment, until something else happens. I'm exaggerating for dramatic effect. Mrs. Lambert said it's called hyperbole, which is pronounced hyperbole, not hyperbole, though I don't know why. English is confusing. You got that right. A lot of things in this world are confusing, including my own feelings. My feelings are so crazed and out of control, it's hard for me to live my day-to-day life as though nothing has changed. It feels like I'm going mad. Well, if being normal means I can't with my brother anymore, then I don't want to be normal. Damn it. All that goodwill that they just built, fucking gone. In one sentence. Damn. When I see him again, I'm gonna tell him how I feel about him. I'm gonna let him know that I love him. I love him so much, much more than he or anybody else could ever imagine. Please don't. It is this thought that keeps me going throughout the long, dull seconds that feel like minutes, and minutes that feel like hours, and hours that feel like days. Okay, so I generally, again, this is being said from a place of I've never made a game, and I respect anyone that takes the time to write and make a video game. But like some of these sentences are phrased in ways that you'd think that they were like trying to meet a word count for a paper in high school. Like, why are some of these sentences so repetitive and so fucking long? They're adding words and details for no good reason. November becomes December, and the Christmas holidays eventually arrive. The very last day of the school term coincides with Jesse's return home. I can hardly wait. I ask my mother in the morning if I can stay at home and wait for Jesse to come back. I won't be able to pay attention at school, I tell her seriously while helping her clean up the plates for breakfast, so there isn't any point in going. You'll just have to do your best to listen, Lilac, my mother says, running a dish rag around a bowl decorated with purple flowers. I'm not letting you bunk off school for no good reason. Are you saying Jesse is a good reason? I asked. No, he isn't. The school won't accept that as an excuse, and neither will I. I'll only let you take time off if you're too sick to stand up. I agree, I think we've run out of scenes, but hey, maybe when the brother shows up, there'll be like a shop or something that we'll go to. Or a Christmas scene. I do feel quite feverish, I say, seizing this newfound opportunity, but my mother is too sharp, and I've never been the best at acting. I can't even pretend to be a normal human being, let alone a normal human being who's sick. You're not sick, Lilac, my mother says flatly, and I'm not letting you waste your education for your brother's sake. I'm sure he wouldn't want that either. Now here's the thing, I don't think we will ever see his house, because that would require them to create new scenes for wherever his house is in London. I don't think we're ever going to London in this game. My mother doesn't call Jesse her son, because he isn't. She calls him your brother when she is talking to me, and your son when she's talking to Dad, or you when she's talking to Jesse. Damn. Fucking rude. I sometimes think my mother doesn't like Jesse very much, but I don't know why. Everybody likes Jesse. Going to school on the last day of term is a waste. We don't do any real work, we just watch movies. Are they educational movies? That depends on whether fucking Shrek mentioned. I don't have a soundboard, but imagine there's a fucking air horn going off. In year 7 and year 8, Mr. Curtis, our math teacher, let us watch Shrek on the last day of the school term. We have seen the first 60 minutes, well more like 55 minutes, of the first Shrek movie twice already, and I'm fully expecting to be treated with the first 60 minutes again. I don't know much about Shrek, says my mother, still wiping the dish rag over the same bowl with the flower design. But if your teachers want you to watch it, you should. We've all been Shrek'd. Yep. I've seen the first 55 minutes twice already. I agree. There need to be more visual novels with Shrek as a plot device. What are you doing in my swamp? Then you'll have to see it a third time, won't you? But what if Jesse comes back when you and Dad are at work and I'm at school? You won't have anybody to welcome him. He doesn't need anybody to welcome him. He's not a guest, and this isn't a hotel. He's your father's son, and he used to live here, just like you do. But, I start to say, but Mom cuts me off. Mom's a quiet person, and she would never ever dream of interrupting Dad, but she doesn't think twice about interrupting me. He has a key. He can let himself into the house if he gets back when we're all away. Now stop fussing, Lilac. Oh god, did she still... Is the snot-covered t-shirt still on the floor of his bedroom? As a nice, like, surprise for him when he gets back? I can't help but fuss, I tell her crossly. He is my brother. I know he is, and I'm glad you care about him so much, but I wish you'd show some of that consideration to everybody else. Are you saying that I'm inconsiderate? Don't ask questions like that so early in the morning. Why are you bothering me so much? Hot damn, that is certainly a way of saying, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. Damn. I'm not bothering you, I say. I was helping you. No, you're pestering me. Now run along. Shoot. You need to get ready for school. She is ready for school. She's wearing her blazer already. I don't want to go to school. Well, you have to. Don't take your education for granted. Be a little more appreciative. I am appreciative. I wish you would be more appreciative of Jesse. Oh, it's always Jesse this, Jesse that with you. I'm getting tired of hearing about Jesse. Don't you love Jesse? I ask her. Again with the questions. I told you, Lilac, it's too early for this. You'll miss the school bus. I'll take that as a no, then. Damn. Because although I'm not the best at reading people, I understand that when people change the subject like that, it's usually because they feel guilty. She is gonna stab her mom. Hey, for a reference, any of y'all remember the ending of the School Days anime? Like, that's the vibe I'm getting of how this might shake out. That's something Mrs. Cowrie didn't need to teach me. I have lived in this house long enough to learn all about guilt and shame and sadness. Lilac, please, enough. I think she must really be tired too, because she brushes a few strands of loose hair behind her ear with her damp, soapy fingers. Rather than neaten her hair, she instead manages to smear it with bright green washing up liquid. Oh, rest, my mother says, reaching for the kitchen roll. Now look what you've made me do. I didn't make you do anything. My mother did it on her own. It isn't my fault, but I'm used to being blamed for other people's mistakes. Dad would probably blame me more often if he spoke to me, but he doesn't, so Mom does it on his behalf. Mom and Dad may not get along very well, but they can always bond over picking on me. Look, Lilac, I'm in a bad enough mood as it is. Don't try my patience, please. Now hurry up and get your things packed for school. I know arguing with her is a waste of time, so I decided to leave the kitchen. It's what my history teacher, Mr. Wasu, would call it. Excuse me, a tactical retreat. Alright, I tell her. I'll get ready. Good, you do that. And can't you do something about your hair, my mother asks? What's wrong with my hair? You look like you've been dragged through a hedge backwards. My mom likes saying that, though I don't know why. I've never really been dragged through a hedge before, let alone backwards. That sounds painful. Who would be doing the dragging anyway? Maybe my mother would like to drag me through a hedge sometimes, but I don't think she's strong enough. I think my hair is fine. At least I didn't get washing up liquid in it, unlike you. Then I gather up my school bag, though I won't need it, because we never do any work on the last day of term, and I leave the house. It takes me 5 minutes to get to the bus stop. Thank you for telling me. I needed that information. The whole time, I can't stop thinking about Jesse. I wish I could have stayed home from school so I could welcome him back. Seeing Jesse's face is much, much more important than watching the first 55 minutes of Shrek for the third time. Oh, big, please no. I spend my day at school in a state of restless anticipation, wondering whether my brother has already arrived back. Is he getting off the train at St. Ives Station while I'm looking out the window in maths class? Is he on the bus rattling its way towards Zennor while I'm picking up my lunch and trying to ward off Essen's curious questions? Is he walking up to the front door of our house, the keys jingling in his pocket, when the final bell that marks the end of the school day rings? Is he waiting for me? When I get back home, tired from a day of school and ready for the holidays, will he greet me with a bright smile and a "Hey Lil" and a great big hug? It's been a long, long time since Jesse hugged me. The journey back home on the old smelly bus is painful. I have to endure the same silly comments and rude names that I always do. That isn't the most uncomfortable part. I'm worried that Jesse might have arrived home already, and he'll be waiting for me. And every second that passes is wasted time we could be spending together. Jesse said he was going to go back to London after New Year's Day, but only stay for 12 days. That's even less than 2 weeks. Yep, that's how time works. I need to make the most of it. I grab my bag and practically sprint for the door when the bus arrives in Zennor. The door in Zennor. I can't wait to get off this hateful vehicle that smells of cheesy dairy dunkers. I can say that with confidence because I saw Megan eating some. The bus driver shouts after me as I run, something about being more careful, but I don't listen to him. How can I be careful when soon, any second now, the moment I open the front door and step inside my house, I might see my brother? Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same, because it's sounding like maybe she really is just that bad off. But also, like, if she's that bad off, why is the guidance counselor not being more direct with her about how, like, fucking gross she is? Because, like, I don't know. I jump off the bus, my bag bumping against my side, and run all the way home. My home is not so very far from the bus stop. Most things are not so far away in Zennor, because it's a very small village where only 200 people live. See, this is the kind of sentence I was talking about a moment ago, about adding needless details to get the word count up. Why is it phrased like that? With Jesse's return, that number will be 201. It took me 5 minutes to walk to the bus stop in the morning when I was dragging my feet, but it takes only 2 to run back in the afternoon. No, exactly. That's my point. Like, if she actually is, like, smelling bad and her hair is constantly unkempt and everything, why are none of the adults stepping in? Like, obviously her parents don't seem to care about her that much. They seem, at very least, verbally abusive. But why is the counselor not stepping in? I struggle with the front door key. I'm so excited my fingers are trembling. I can barely insert it into the lock. The funny thing is, as much as I've been memeing on this kid, I am starting to just feel more and more sad for her. I don't bother to take my shoes off at the front door, though my mother is always sighing and telling me not to scuff up the hall with my dirty shoes. It doesn't matter. The doors don't have knobs. These doors don't have knobs. Maybe their house does. All that matters is Jesse! Look! We finally made it to the basic ass fucking guy. Breathe him in. Soak in this normal ass looking homie. This is Jesse. My school bag is still slung over my shoulder, but the moment I see him standing there, as though he has never left, I dash forward, my arms outstretched. My school bag slips off my shoulder and lands on the wooden floor with a thud that would probably make my mother wince if she were here, but she is not, and even if she was, I wouldn't care because I am very, very happy. Jesse has finally come back. Okay, and on that note, I am done with this game. We finally found the mid older brother. Holy fuck. This has been an experience. I don't think I'm ever gonna finish this on stream. What do you mean, no? You told me to stop 2.5 hours ago. Oh, Lord. I think this is the metaphorical equivalent to them holding hands driving off a cliff. Goodness gracious. Okay, you know what? We'll give it a few more minutes. We'll give it to the top of the, like, when I would normally take a break again. That's only like 15 more minutes. We'll see and make sure he's not also weird and creepy. Or if he's a mermaid. We were separated for a long time, but now I can see his face again, and I can hear his voice and feel his arms around me. I don't want to know that, but hopefully I don't think we'll get there that fast. Jesse, I exclaim, because it's Jesse and he has come back and I miss him very much. Oh, Jesse. Oh. Lil, Jesse says, and he laughs and throws his arms open, catching me as I fling myself against him. Oh, hey, you know what? A couple presses of the X button and I got another trophy. He staggers backward when I collide with him, but he doesn't fall. Jesse is strong and reliable like a tree trunk. Okay. Though he does grin and say, Jesus, Lil, if you hug me any harder, I'm going to asphyxiate. That's not how people talk, but okay. I'm sorry, I say, and I bury my head against his shirt. But I'm not sorry. How can I be sorry when, for the first time in so very, very long, I finally feel happy? You know what the worst part is? You know the worst part in all of this? In almost any other context, this would be a very cute picture. But it's this. My whole body is light and free, like a bird's about to take flight. It might sound like a paradox because my brother's arms are wrapped around me and it would be impossible to fly like this, but I really truly feel at my lightest when we are together. Jesse, I really missed you. Why are you wiping your face on his chest? You already ruined one of his shirts, don't ruin another. And I missed you too, Squirt, Jesse says, running a hand through my hair. Did you really? He did say on the phone. Yep. I'm not reading as much as What if you'd prefer to be in this big city instead of here, in this quiet corner of England where people talk in a slow, drawn-out manner, and you're never far from the sound of waves against the shore? People used to believe that mermaids lived off the coast of Zennor. I bet nobody ever believed in mermaids in London. I doubt that. Zennor is stuck in the past, and London seems to exist at least 200 years in the future. Aha, Neo-London. I would not blame Jesse if he would prefer to be lost in the hustle and bustle of the capital of the country, surrounded by places to go and sights to see. But of course I missed you, Lil. I missed you a lot. Jesse, I say, my face turning red. I want to cling to him forever and ever. In fact, I care about you so much, I wanted you to be the first person to know. Know what? I asked him. What are you talking about? Please. Please, fanfiction gods, let this man have brought home a girlfriend with him. Yes! I didn't come back here alone. There's somebody I want you to meet. Meet? I repeat stupidly, like a parrot. Jesse draws away from me, removing his arms from around my waist. Oh shit! This also means we're gonna get another character. Suddenly, I feel very cold and alone. Are you not alone? I asked Jesse, hoping that it's nothing more than a misunderstanding. I thought you came back because you wanted to see me. I do want to see you, Lil. And Dad. And Mom, too. You're right. I was so wrong. I'll admit that I was wrong. Unlike my mother, who never calls Jesse her son, and Jesse has no problems referring to her as his mother, even though she isn't. Maybe Jesse does it because he doesn't want to hurt her feelings. Jesse's very conscientious, of other people's feelings. He would never want to hurt anybody, not even a mean, nasty girl like Megan. That's what I always believed, but I'm not the only person who wanted to see you. There's somebody else who's been desperate to meet my family too, ever since I told her about them. Jesse says, Come on, Skylar, say hello. Skylar? Who is that? Alright. I've never heard of anybody called Skylar before. I thought Aslan was a silly name, but Skylar sounds even sillier. Does it? Skylar's a pretty normal name. Whatever. I'm Skylar, says an unfamiliar voice, which belongs to an unfamiliar woman. It's very nice to meet you, Lilac. Jesse has told me a lot about you. I just want to say that this brother is batting outside of his league. Exactly. Basic ass Jesse here is batting outside of his league, without a doubt. Skylar is tall and pretty. She has long red hair and she's wearing black. I don't know much about clothes, but she looks cool. She does not belong in my small, shoddy home in Zennor. She does not belong in my life. What is she doing here? Well, Jesse says, glancing at me, aren't you gonna say hello? Probably not. I don't say anything. I'm too busy staring at Skylar. Maybe she's shy, Jesse says. I'm sorry about this, Skylar. Lil's a nice girl, really. Maybe. That's fair. I'm sure she is, says Skylar. She's your little sister. Nobody related to you could be bad, I'm sure. Ha! You're always flattering me, Jesse says, and he laughs. Well, of course, isn't that why you like me so much? Skylar asks, grinning. I like you for lots of reasons. It's hard to just pick one. Ah, shit. She's not on the screen anymore. Is she even relevant to the plot anymore? Jesse and Skylar are looking at one another. Skylar, whatever. And they're laughing and laughing like they have known each other their whole lives. Like they're best friends. Like they are in love. The longer I stare at Skylar, the more I dislike her. She's not just pretty like Aslan. She's not even sexy like Megan. What? She looks a lot like she has stepped straight from the pages of a fashion magazine, with her smoky eyes and her pale skin and her red lips which must have been drawn on with lipstick. I've never seen anybody like her before. Is she the mermaid? She's so beautiful that looking at her makes me feel sick. What's going on? I asked stonily, my voice cutting through Skylar's laughter. Who are you? And who invited you here? Didn't Jessie tell you? Skylar asked, raising her neatly plucked eyebrows into little arches. I wanted it to be a surprise, Jessie said. Like an early Christmas present, you know? I thought for sure it would make my family happy. I don't know if I'm special enough to count as a Christmas present, but... Skylar smiles. My name is Skylar, and I am Jessie's girlfriend. It's nice to meet you, Lilac. I hope we can get on. Ah, I say, but I'm not really saying anything. Ah, it's not a real word. Stop flaming me. It is more like a sudden, sharp exhalation of air that you might hear if you plunged a sharp knife into an inflatable ball. It feels like a sharp knife has been plunged into me. Skylar's words replayed in my head over and over again like a scratched DVD. My name is Skylar, and I am Jessie's girlfriend. I am Jessie's girlfriend. Girlfriend. I like, Jessie says, his brow furrowed. Are you alright? You're being awfully quiet. Don't you want to say anything to Skylar? The only thing I want to say to Skylar is goodbye, which would be followed roughly 0.02 seconds later by slamming the door in her face. Why should I talk to her? I hate her. I wish she was dead. She getting real fucking stabby. I'm sure she's just surprised, Skylar says in an oh so very reasonable voice, resting a hand on Jessie's shoulder. This must have been quite a shock. Maybe you should have told her about us. I stare at Skylar's hand, which is still laying on my brother's shoulder. It's tipped with long nails that are painted just as red as her lips. Hey, you know, she could be. She's touching him. She is tainting him. Good lord. She's gonna take him away from me, and I don't know what I can do to stop her. Plot twist. The game is only 5 minutes longer than where we are now because she just stabs them. So, Dad says, when we're all sitting around the dinner table that evening, you're Jessie's girl? That's right, Skylar says. I'm Jessie's girlfriend. These matter-of-fact words gut me. The longer I sit at the dinner table, trying to look at like my heart is not breaking, the more lightheaded I feel. I'm afraid I'm gonna fall forwards into my mashed potatoes and pork chops. Lilac, my mother hisses, giving me a sharp glare. Eat your food, please. You're 13 years old, not 3. You shouldn't be picking at it like that. But I can't eat. How can I eat when I feel so awful? So, how did you and Jessie meet? My dad asked Skylar. Dad is being unusually talkative during this meal. He rarely has any words to spare for me and my mother. But now Skylar is here, with her bright red hair and her red lips and her pale skin. He can't stop talking. I think he's exchanged more words with Skylar during this single meal than he has with me over the last 6 months. We met at uni, Jessie says. She's on my history course. We happened to sit together during one lecture and... I see. So it was love at first sight, was it? Well, I wouldn't go that far. I mean, this isn't a fairy tale or anything. Oh... But it is. You mean you didn't fall for me the moment you met me? Skylar says. Well, I did think you were pretty, but I'm not so shallow I judge girls solely on their looks. There's a lot more to you than that. Skylar laughs and calls Jessie a charmer while I sit there silently hating her. Jesus Christ. I wish I could slit Skylar's throat, gouge out her eyes, peel off her skin. She might be pretty, beautiful even, but deep down inside she won't look that different to me or my mother or anybody else. everybody is the same without their skin. Holy fuck. God damn. You raise a good point, Jesse. That's it. Looks are important, yes, but it's what's on the inside that really counts. Your mother wasn't the best looker in the land, but she is such a kind, funny woman. She never failed to make me smile. I know. I'm so glad I listened to you. This is taken such a wild, drastic turn to like I'm actively enjoying this now. Mom was a great person, just says. I do miss her. It's a shame Skylar couldn't have met her. Yes, it's such a shame, my mother says, in a way that suggests she doesn't think it's a shame at all. I'm sorry you're stuck with me instead. Oh no, Jessie hurries to comfort her. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant... It's alright. I know what you meant. My mother saws into her chop with such viciousness the knife scrapes against the plate. The sound makes me shudder, but nobody else seems to care. That's the tism. Dad is looking at Skylar thoughtfully, his pork chops almost untouched. Pork chops are one of my father's favorite dishes. My mom cooks it just the way he likes it, with mustard and onion gravy, but he never compliments her, no matter how hard she works. My mother can't make Dad smile. She can't do anything that Jesse's mother did. Let me give you some advice, Dad says seriously. If you want to stay together, it's important to have a sense of humor. Being stuck in a relationship without laughter is a death sentence. Mom's face turns pale, her skin so white it almost looks like a skull. Maybe Jesse can see how uncomfortable Mom is, because he says gently, Don't be like that, Dad. It's too early for Skylar and me to worry about the future. We're only 19. I was only 23 when I met your mother, but I knew from the beginning that she was the one for me. You can always tell these things when you meet the right person. God, this dad is a piece of shit. Well, I do like Skylar, Jesse says, or I wouldn't have brought her here. But I'm too young to think about marriage. You might have a point. Things are different nowadays. You students want to enjoy your youth a little before getting tied down. I understand. Thank goodness, Jesse says. Now no pestering me about babies. You'll scare Skylar away. Oh no, Skylar says. I couldn't be scared away now. I like you too much. This has become much better. Turns out all we needed was the pretty red-haired girl. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry I come with such a strange family, Jesse says. Dad's so old-fashioned. This time, Mom isn't the only one who winces. I do too. When he says strange family, is he including me in that statement too? My fingers slacken around my fork. I drop it on the table. My fork is covered with Dad's favorite mustard and onion gravy, and bits of mustard and onion gravy get all over the table and on my lap. My mother chuckles. Lilac, can you try and be more careful? I don't say anything. My eyes are still focused on Dad and Jesse and Skylar. I love that we don't get to see these parents. They've been in many scenes and spoken many lines of dialogue, but they don't fucking exist. Well, I'm very pleased to meet you, Skylar. Sorry if I'm being too intense. I don't want to scare you. I'm just curious. This is the first time Jesse's ever brought a girl back home. And I hope I'll be the only girl he brings back home, Skylar says, nudging Jesse in the side with her ribs. Interesting. Huh, that says. She knows what she wants, alright. She seems like a real keeper, Jesse. I know. I'm very lucky. You are very lucky. He looks at Skylar happily, in the same way he used to look at me, only even more adoring, and presses a kiss against her cheek. Skylar giggles and says, not at the dinner table, but she doesn't try to push Jesse away. That would be a hell of a twist, and honestly, it would elevate my my opinion of the game. That would be fucking fabulous as a twist. Mom looked at them coldly. I'm glad you two get along so well, but Skylar is right. The dinner table isn't the right place for displays of affection. Oh, stop being such a stick in the mud, Dad says. It was only a kiss on the cheek. Be that as it may, they should eat before the food gets cold. I spent a good while working on this, and it didn't help that Jesse invited Skylar over without telling me. I'll need to drive to the supermarket this evening to stock up on food. I'm sorry, Skylar says. I don't want to inconvenience you. I told Jesse he should let you know I was coming, but... Nonsense. Meaning it was a lovely surprise. I could do with more of them. They're a nice distraction from the daily grind. Oh, Dad's got that grind set going. You might like surprises, but you're not the one who has to do the cooking. Oh, can't you stop complaining, Heather? Jesse's brought his girlfriend over to meet us. You should try and be a bit happier for him. Ah, the mom's name is Heather. I am happy. I'm thrilled that Jesse has found such a nice girl. But he could have been a bit more considerate. Okay, as we're about to play, I'll be right back. I'm invested. I'm invested. We're not done. But I'll be back in just a few minutes. 1 second. Okay, so first and most importantly, hi Donnie, hi Smeagol. But also, uh, we gotta get back into this. Like, I'm genuinely curious how fucking long this game is, because like, I feel like most visual novels I've ever played you can do in like a few hours, but I don't. They're not usually like super long games, but we've already been at this for 3 hours. Oh, good point. Good point. Let me. Just take me to the whole page. Why are you like this, PlayStation? Let's see. There's still a decent number of trophies. Hmm. Yeah, that's a shelf here, but oh, sorry. Also, can I just say that like I was not expecting the story we've gotten based off of the art on this. Cause like I feel like the art here for the thumbnail of the game is much better than the first 2 hours of the game. Anyway, you're the one being inconsiderate, Dad says, sitting here with a face like a wet weekend. Lighten up, why don't you, before you ruin everything. Good God, he sucks. I'm not trying to ruin anything. I'm just being practical. That ignores Mom. He does that a lot. So where do you come from, Skylar? The ocean. I was born in West Croydon in London, Skylar tells him. A Londoner, eh? I thought so, judging by your accent. So you're a city girl. Cornwall must seem painfully dull by comparison. Also, I, I, it just occurred to me that this whole thing is taking place in England, and I haven't tried an accent at all this whole time, and I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think it's worth it. Oh, not at all. My parents took me on holiday to Cornwall a lot when I was younger, and I always thought it was a beautiful place. It might be beautiful to visit every once in a while, but when you have to live here, the solitude starts to nag at you. You always complain about Zennor, Dad, but if you really hated it, you would have moved out years ago. For all its faults, I do have an attachment to this old place. Tegan was very fond of it. She's the one who picked out this house, and she did most of the decorating. Okay, wait, I just had a thought. Stay with me. What if the dead mom was the mermaid? And Jesse is half mermaid? And that's why everyone loves him. I mean, no, Heather's the alive mom. Heather's the alive mom. Alive mom. Tegan is the dead mom, Jesse's mom. Now, Heather from Silent Hill 3 could be a mermaid. I could see that. I can't remember the last time Dad talked about Jesse's mother. I can barely even remember the last time Dad talked, full stop. But something about our new guest has drawn out all the reminiscences from him in a torrent. Ooh, you're right, she's being a selkie. Oh, no. His pelt is the shirt. Oh, no. We moved here after we got married. We both got jobs in St. Ives, and Tegan's mother, Fallon was her name, used to look after Jesse when he was a baby. Fallon died when Jesse was only 4, though, and then the following year. Well, it was a while ago now, Dad says, but his eyes are misty and his voice sounds pained, and it's obvious even if it did, blah, 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 even if it did happen a while ago, it does not feel like a while ago for Dad. Would that make him half horse, half seahorse, half man? What is... There's too many halves. Oh, I'm sorry for prying, Skylar says sadly. You don't need to apologize. Sometimes it helps to get things off my chest. I don't get a chance to talk about Tegan very often. I'm glad you've taken an interest. Dad smiles at Skylar like a real father would, which makes my chest hurt. I can't remember the last time he smiled at me. It doesn't seem fair. Dad has known Skylar for 1 hour. He's known me for 13, almost 14 years. How little did those years mean to my father? How little to do I mean to him? How little to do I mean to him? What? Whatever. What is it about Skylar that is able to make even my father, the most dour and sour and grumpy man in all of Zennor, smile? Maybe it's because of her looks. Skylar is beautiful, and I think she knows she's beautiful, because she smiles with her red lips and runs her hands through her red hair and flutters her black eyelashes, so even my father can't help but love her. My mother doesn't seem to love her, though, and I don't love her either. I think I hate her. The more time I spend with her, the more I hate her, until I can hardly stand to look at her. So, Lilac, Skylar says, now turning her attention to me. Jesse says you're 13? Does that mean you're in secondary school? I clamp my lips together and clam up. My father might have fallen victim to Skylar's charms, but I won't. Lilac, Skylar is asking you a question. Can't you answer her? You have a tongue in your head, don't you? That's a very weird way of asking that question. I don't say anything. Instead, I look at my plate, at the creamy mashed potatoes and the green peas and the pork chops covered in mustard and onion gravy. My mother spent a very long time preparing this meal. She was stressed and upset because she didn't know Skylar was coming. She hadn't prepared enough pork chops. She gave Skylar one of 4 pork chops and a dollop of her mash and a lot of sauce and peas, but nobody seemed to appreciate it. Yeah. Yes, Skylar, I've seen Shrek 64% of the way through 3 separate times. Don't even talk to me till you were on my level, bitch. That's just how life is. Lilac, Dad says, and he bangs his fist on the table so hard it shakes. For God's sake, girl, say something. Yeah. Skylar will think you're a simpleton. Oh no, I don't think that. She must be shy, that's all. Lilac's always been rather quiet, Jessie says. And that's because you used to talk for her. It's time she starts speaking for herself. Lilac's only 13, Dad. She has enough time to learn. I hope I haven't made her uncomfortable. I was just trying to be friendly. Don't worry. I'm sure Lil will warm up to you in time. I do hope so. I want to get along with all your family. Don't you worry about our Lilac. She's always been a bit funny, all quiet and gloomy and lacking in gumption. She's nothing like her brother. Well, the world would be boring if we were all the same. Huh, that's a nice way of looking at it. Maybe I should do the same. I think you put too much pressure on Lil. You can't expect her to be like me just because we're siblings. You're only half sibling. God, he's such a bad dad. Good lord. The half feels like a punch to my stomach. It hurts. I stare at my mashed potatoes and peas and pork chop until my eyes start to water. The smell of mustard and onion gravy stoppers up my nostrils. It's a very rich and heavy aroma that makes me feel faint. Because he's half horse, half man. My mother made all this delicious food, but nobody cares because Skylar is here now, and everything pales in contrast to her red hair and her red lips. She has cast my dad and my brother under her spell. Nay! She's an evil witch and I hate her. I hate her and I wish she was dead. But then maybe then I would not feel so awful. Oh shit, it's a starry sky instead of a cloudy sky. I retreat to my bedroom after that awkward and uncomfortable dinner, my stomach still empty, my heart even emptier. Jesse meant the world to me, and now Skylar has taken him. She has taken my world. She has me at her fingertips all over it, so I wouldn't be able to enjoy it even if she gave it back. Everything has been ruined. I lie on my bed, staring at my ceiling, my eyes glazed. It's dark outside, and the sky is filled with stars, but I don't feel sleepy. I want to be with Jessie, but that's not possible. And illegal, and creepy. Jesse will play music on his guitar for Skylar now and tell her stories, and they'll watch old horror movies together. Skylar will pick salty kernels of popcorn from a bowl held on Jesse's lap, and he'll run his hands through her hair. She'll squeal and pretend to be scared when the woman gets murdered on the TV and hide her head against his shoulder. She will cuddle up to him, and he will let her because she is his girlfriend. Yeah, he does seem kind of lovely. Like, he's basic looking, but he does seem pretty lovely the more we've interacted with him. I would date Jesse. I am only his sister. Jesse once told me I was the only girl for him. He's got death flags. I'll give you that. He does have death flags. Quite possibly by the hand of his sister. He lied. How could he lie to me? Ah, I say softly because my mobile phone, which is in my school bag, which I threw on my bedroom floor, is beeping. Somebody is calling me. Who could it be? Probably your friend. I take my phone out of my bag and look at the name on the screen. It's Aslan the Lion. I don't feel like talking to her very much right now, but I don't want to be alone either. I answer the call and press the phone to my ear. Hello, I say. Lilac, how are you? It doesn't seem fair that I should be feeling so miserable while Aslan is so bright, cheerful, and happy. It seems a bit insensitive. Aslan doesn't know that I'm sad, though, so I shouldn't be cruel to her. Yes, she's calling her to Narnia. This girl is always telling me to be nicer to Aslan. I'm not so good, I tell Aslan. I feel sad. Sad? Why are you sad? I thought you'd be happy. Your brother did come back today, didn't he? Yes, he did. Then why are you sad? You didn't have an argument, did you? No, I've never had an argument with Jesse. I thought not. Jesse seems so easygoing. I can't imagine him arguing with anybody. He's not like you, Lilac. You know, that would be very funny, actually. I thought not. Jesse seems so easygoing, I can't even imagine arguing with him with anybody. He's... Oh, I went backwards. Hold on. What do you mean by that? I ask, and I think my voice must sound sharper than usual, because Aslan sounds surprised when she replies. I didn't mean anything bad by it. I just meant you have more of a temper than your brother. I still remember what you did to Megan in maths class this year. I love when I tell someone I'm sad and they decide to remind me of the time I stabbed someone. Oh, is that all? Is that all what you meant? What else would I mean? Aslan asked innocently. I don't feel like explaining myself to Aslan. I do not think she would understand. Aslan has never suffered in her life. People don't insult her, or call her names, or throw chewing gum wrappers at her on the bus. It never used to bother me, because I told myself, even if everybody else hated me, Jesse loved me, and that was enough. That has changed now, though. Jesse does not love me. He loves his girlfriend, and I am not with Jesse, but she is. And it all seems so unfair when I've waited so long to be with him again that it makes me want to scream. Lilac. Lilac, are you still there? Damn. I really felt it when this random British girl was strewn up on the rock and stabbed by the White Witch for our sins. You don't sound like your usual self. What does my usual self sound like? I ask Aslan, because it's hard for me to think about myself when my head is so crammed full with thoughts about Jessie. Maybe I think as I lay back down in my bed, my brain will leak out of my ears in my sleep, and I will die. I would rather die than watch Jessie laugh and smile and flirt with Skylar. It would be less painful. It's hard to say. It usually sounds so, I don't know, cool, I guess. I'm not cool. Megan says I'm stupid. Megan's a bully. You should just ignore her. I think you're cool, Lilac. You never let anybody bother you. If I let people bother me, I would probably stab them, and then I would get into trouble. Ha! You're so funny. Laughs as though I just told a joke. I don't understand why. I was being deadly serious. But you really don't sound like your usual self today. Maybe this sounds insensitive, but you weren't crying, were you? I wasn't crying. I'm not going to cry either, I say sharply, because I can't stand the thought of shedding tears. Crying is a messy and embarrassing process, and it's something I only do when I'm sure I'm alone and nobody else will see me. Well, alright. I'm still worried, though, as it says. You sound so defeated. I feel sick, I tell Aslan, and that isn't entirely a lie. I do feel a bit sick. I should never have tried to eat that pork chop, even if it was for a noble cause. I wanted to make my mother happy. It didn't work. So, if you and Jessie didn't have an argument, what did happen? Weren't you looking forward to seeing him? I was looking forward to it. But what? What happened? He didn't come back home alone. There was somebody else with him, too. A friend from university? That's right. A female friend. A very pretty female friend. With very red hair and red lips with smoky black eyes. Ah, I see. I didn't know Jessie had a girlfriend. I wince. Aslan's matter-of-fact way of talking makes the situation feel even realer than ever before. I can't deny it, not even to myself. Skylar is Jessie's girlfriend. This is the world I live in now. This is my reality. This is... Ah, what a shame, Aslan says, she sighs. I was hoping Jessie might confess to me one day. Don't be stupid, I said flatly, though my mind feels like it's collapsing and my world is falling apart around me. Jessie would never look twice at you. You're too young for him. Bitch, you're younger. But Aslan is 5 months older than I am. Aslan is prettier than me, too. She came to my house for a sleepover this summer, before Jessie went to university, and she made him laugh. She has more of a chance with him than I do. He's your fucking brother! I can see now that I was just deluding myself. I never had a chance. Well, I guess I knew that. I was never really serious about it. How could you flirt with my brother if you weren't being serious? Why weren't you serious? Part of me used to hate Aslan because she had a crush on Jessie, but now Jessie has a girlfriend. I feel angry that her feelings for him weren't as strong as I imagined. How could anybody not love my brother? I mean, he is a Kelpie after all. Half Kelpie, excuse me. Half horse, half man, half seahorse. Well, I was a little serious, but I know you're right. I never really had a chance. I just wanted to have a bit of fun. Aren't you sad that Jessie has a girlfriend? You wanted to be his girlfriend. A little, but I knew this was going to happen. I should have expected as much. How did you know he'd get a girlfriend? He hasn't had a girlfriend before. I thought he never would. He went to university in London. London is way, way bigger than St. Ives. It'd be weirder if your brother didn't end up with a girlfriend or two. Two? He could be a player. We don't know. Don't hate. Jesse having one girlfriend is painful enough, without him having two of them. Why would he need two? Oh, I don't think he'd really have two girlfriends. It was a figure of speech. Maybe you should choose your words more carefully. That's very threatening. Sorry, I wasn't implying Jesse would cheat on a girlfriend. He's way too nice for that. Worse luck. The more I talk to Aslan, the more I feel my stomach sinking. Aslan knows a lot more about romance than I do. She loves romantic movies like The Notebook, which I thought was stupid, and The Fault in Our Stars, which I thought was boring. Okay, The Notebook is very sappy, but it is also very good. And I've never seen or read The Fault in Our Stars, so I cannot judge it. She isn't like Jesse, who doesn't like romance movies. He always rolls his eyes when adverts for romance movies come out on the TV. He used to stick his fingers in his throat and pretend to be sick, which annoyed my mum. I'm in my mom's car. I didn't think he was interested in romance. I was wrong. If Aslan thinks Jessie will stay with Skylar, she's probably right. She doesn't even know how pretty Skylar is. I thought talking to Aslan might reassure me, but it's done the opposite. Now I feel even worse. Vroom, vroom. What is Jessie's girlfriend called? Skylar, I say. That's a pretty name. She's a pretty girl. Beautiful. She has the reddest hair I've ever seen, like strawberries, and very smooth skin. She sounds perfect. Perfectly disgusting, Aslan says. She isn't disgusting. That's the worst thing. Even Dad seems to like her, and Dad doesn't like anybody. Is this the first time you've heard of Skylar? It is, I say, and I nod my head, even though Aslan can't see me. Jesse never mentioned her before. He never even said she was going to come here. She just showed up on our doorstep, and Jesse expected us to accept her as a member of our family. Wow. I don't want to badmouth your brother. That sounds kind of thoughtless. It was thoughtless. I was looking forward to seeing Jesse again, and then he had to bring this woman with him, a complete stranger. Don't you like her, Lilac? Aslan says. No, I hate her. But your father likes her. He does, and Jesse loves her, and that's why I hate her. Everybody ignored me at dinner. Everything was about Skylar, Skylar, Skylar. My voice trails off. I stare at my ceiling, my hair splayed across my pillow, and sigh. Skylar's a stupid name anyway. It's even stupider than my name. What about mine? Is it stupider than mine? I've often thought Aslan was a silly name, but I think Skylar takes the cake, but not literally. We don't often have cake in this. Why are we talking about cake? What the fuck? We don't often have cake in this house. Cakes are for celebrations, and we rarely have anything to celebrate. The cake I had for my 13th birthday was bought from the supermarket. Skylar is much, much stupider than Aslan. It's terrible. Well, maybe you'll be able to get along with her, even if she does have a silly name. I don't want to get on with her. I want her to go away. You might want that, but it doesn't look likely. If Jesse's already introducing her to you guys, he must really love her. The word love cuts right through me. I thought I was the only girl Jesse loved, me and his mother, Tegan, but she doesn't count because she's dead. Oh, Jesus. So I was never jealous of her. And anyway, it's normal to love your brother. Look, Cece, you're not wrong. I do also want cake. It was just very weird and out of place. That must be why I don't love my mother. It's because I'm not normal. Is that why Jesse doesn't love me? Hey, I'm kind of curious. I want to know what this Skylar woman looks like. I already told you what she looks like. I know, but I want to see her with my own eyes. Size up the woman who stole away the guy I like, you know? I'm curious, what kind of woman could steal Jesse's heart? Yeah, I know, she doesn't count because she's dead. What the fuck is that? She isn't a woman. She's a witch. She cast a spell on my father and my brother, and now they can't escape from her. I mean, her being a witch isn't necessarily a negative. Maybe Jesse's into that. Maybe he likes witchy girls. A witch? Does she wear a lot of black clothes or crystals? Does she have tattoos? Does she talk about palm reading? She does wear black clothes, but I didn't see any crystals. If she is a witch, I want to meet her even more. Please, Lilac, let me come over. Please, please, please. Aslan's childish begging is cut off by the sound of knuckles rapping against my bedroom door. Scroat the raven, Nippermore. There's someone here to see me. Lil, says a very familiar voice, which I would be able to pick up out of a crowded room filled with hundreds upon hundreds of people. Lil, are you in there? Yes, throw her in a pond. If she is lighter than a duck, she is a witch. If she is heavier than a duck and she drowns, she's not a witch. Ignore the fact that she'll be dead. She's not a witch. It's Jesse. Hey, Lilac, are you still there? As it says. I'm still here, but I have to go now. Jesse wants to talk to me. Aw, do you have to go? That's right. Well, tell him I said hello. I'll try, I tell her, because Aslan is the last thing on my mind now that my brother is here, and he's come to see me, and he's rapping on my door asking to be let in, and maybe he wants to ask for forgiveness. Goodbye, Aslan. Goodbye, Lilac. I take the phone away from my ear, and I end the call with a push of a button. Then I sit up on my bed and run my fingers through my short hair, trying to make it look a bit less messy and a bit more presentable. I know my looks are nothing compared to Skylar's. She's tall, pale, and beautiful, with red hair and red lips. I am short and dark and lumpy, and my nose is too big, and my smile, when I do smile, looks lopsided and unconvincing. I am not pretty. She's lumpy. There's no point worrying about my hair, because it will never look as smooth or sleek as the girls in magazines. I fuss over my appearance all the same, however, because I care what I look like when Jesse is around. Oh no, Lux, no. I might not think I'm pretty, but I want him to think I'm pretty. Yes, yes, thank you.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
That is because even after he has betrayed me and broken my heart, I still love him. I love him so, so much. I want to believe that I still have a chance to claim his heart back. You can come in, I say, trying to keep the tremor from my voice, but it doesn't quite work. My words sound weak and hesitant, and I'm trembling. Okay, so I want to pause here for just a second, because, like, as silly as it sounds, as soon as they introduced Skylar, like, the writing of the story has improved in a weird amount. So I don't know if this person, whoever wrote this, and again, I'm not trying to be hateful to the developer of this. I don't know if they like wrote the whole thing and like didn't go back to like see how weird and awkward the first couple hours of the story were. Because, like, here's the thing. It's not like it would not be the first time I've come across a story of like a younger sibling thinking they're in love with an older sibling there's like a significant age gap, and then like a significant other shows up and they're like, aha, that was stupid, I was stupid. But like there was a weird amount of pining for her brother at the beginning, and I'm really hoping it does go the path of her realizing, oh, I was just being a stupid kid. I can't love my brother that way. Or I'm hoping she just stabs them all. Either of those options I would be okay with. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying is like it feels like the story was written in progressive order, and they didn't go back to the first part. I am continuing more and more to think that there's not going to be a mermaid in this story, which is kind of disappointing. Because I was admittedly expecting a literal mermaid and not a metaphorical mermaid. Why am I trembling? Oh, thank goodness. I was worried I might have upset you. I also love the way they just slide around on the screen. Makes me smile every time. My bedroom door clicks, and then the door opens outwards with a creak, and there he is. Jesse looks at me, tall and dark and handsome as ever, his eyes half lidded and framed with his very long eyelashes. Do you want me to close the door? Jesse asks, his voice soft because he is kind and considerate that way. I nod. Your wish is my command, he says, and he slides the door shut with a click. Now it's just the two of us alone in my room. Jesse and me. A half-brother with his half-sister. Can I sit down? Yes. I nod. Yo! Jesse sits down by my side. The mattress sinks beneath his weight. I shrink beneath the weight of his gaze. Good lord. Why is he looking at me like that? There's a small silence, then Jesse starts to talk. Why didn't you come and sit in the living room with the rest of us after dinner? I didn't think I was invited. Don't be silly, of course you're invited. You're family. Dad asked Mom and me to clear the table and wash the dishes. He might have said that, but that didn't mean you couldn't sit with us after you'd finished. I didn't think I was welcome, and I didn't feel like it. But weren't you looking forward to seeing me? I thought you missed me. I did miss you, I say, drawing my knees up beneath my chin and winding my arms around them. I missed you so much. Then why aren't you spending any time with me, you silly girl? Everyone was so focused on Skylar at the dinner table, I barely got any time to talk to you. And whose fault did you have? What was that? Oh, nothing. All of a sudden, I feel horribly guilty. It's a strange sensation, as I rarely feel guilty. It is different with Jesse, though. He might have brought Skylar back home without telling me, and that hurts, but maybe he didn't know how much that hurt me. Jesse's a kind person, and I'm sure he would never ever want to cause me pain on purpose. He isn't like Megan. Maybe I find myself thinking, if I tell him that I don't like Skylar and I want to spend time with him alone, he'll understand and he'll ask her to go home. He is my brother. He has to understand. That's what I would like to believe, but I think it'd be nice if you got a chance to talk a little more with Skylar too. She knows how much you mean to me, and she wants to get to know you better. My arms tighten around my knees. Jesse can see how upset I am, but he doesn't really care about me. He's still thinking about Skylar. God, this girl is so self-centered. I don't want to get to know Skylar better. Don't be like that. Skylar's a really nice girl, I promise. She isn't nice, I say. Lilac, Jesse says, and he sounds unhappy. I must have said the wrong thing. That's why I don't talk. When I do, it just upsets people, my mother and my father in particular. I don't think I have ever upset Jessie this much, though. Having you say Skylar isn't nice. You barely know her. Gosh, she doesn't even go here. I already told you, I don't want to get to know her. Look, Lil, I know you're shy, but that's no way to treat my girlfriend. I want her to like you just as much as I like you. But how can she if you refuse to talk to her? I don't want to talk to her. Can't you at least make an effort? Skylar's worried she might have said something to upset you. You were glaring at her all throughout dinner. I wasn't glaring, I say, even though I was. My stomach hurt. I thought that would have been it, Jessie says. I know you're not a bad girl. You're quiet, so it's easy to misunderstand you. But you'd never wish ill on anybody else. Homie, you're talking to your sister that stabbed someone. I bury my head against my knees. My short, dark hair tickles my cheeks. If Jesse truly believes that, he doesn't know me nearly as well as I thought he did. Lil, please, can't you come down? I don't want to make Skylar uncomfortable. I don't care how she feels. I thought you were worried about me. Please try to understand. Skylar's my girlfriend. I want her to feel welcomed by my family, including you. You're important to me, Lil. Not as important as Skylar, I say quietly. Don't be like that. You can be so stubborn sometimes. Try to look at it from Skylar's perspective. Why should I look at anything from Skylar's perspective when nobody is trying to look at it from mine? They just don't understand that you're weird about your brother. I thought you came back home because you missed me, I say quietly, directing my words down to my knees. I don't look at Jesse. Being in Jesse's company used to make me feel happy, like I was walking in the clouds. Now it makes me feel heavy, like I've swallowed a stone and I am sinking to the bottom of the ocean. I did miss you, but I wanted to introduce you to Skylar too. I thought you loved me, I said to my knees. I do love you, but you love Skylar more. I love her in a different way. Does he? Does he? I don't... Whatever. I love her in a different way, Dozy. She's my girlfriend. You're my sister. I bet that's why you went so long without calling me. You were busy having fun with Skylar, weren't you? Yeah, like, what, the Dozy? That's a weird, I don't know. I was having fun with Skylar, yes, but I don't see why that should be an issue. Don't you want me to be happy? I do want you to be happy. I want you to be happy, but I don't want you to be happy with Skylar. If you really want me to be happy, then you try to get along with Skylar. That would make me happy. And what about me? Don't you want me to be happy? Of course I do. That's why I want you to come downstairs. It's not healthy for you, always hiding away in your room. You need to make more friends. You sound like Mrs. Corey. Mrs. Corey is right. You should listen to her more. You used to tell me I was fine the way I was. Lil, Jesse says, pinching the bridge of his nose with his fingers. I like you, and I know you're a nice girl, no matter how standoffish you seem. But Skylar doesn't know that. I want her to see the Lil that I know. Jesse is sitting with me and looking at me, but I know he isn't really seeing me. He is only seeing Skylar. She has been in our house less than a day, and she has already erased my place in my brother's heart. Compared to Skylar and her red hair and red lips, I am drab and pale and dull and uninteresting. I'm stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. So what about it? Jesse says. Do you want to come downstairs and talk to Skylar? No. Lil, please. Jesse says, and his face contorts, and for a few moments I worry he might slap me. He doesn't, though. Jesse is too kind for that. Let's go and see her, alright? You need to apologize at least. Why should I apologize? What did I do wrong? You made her feel uncomfortable. I snort. Why should I apologize for making her feel uncomfortable when she has broken my heart? Lil, Jesse says again, aren't you coming down? Do I have a choice? Of course you have a choice. You don't need to come down, but it would make me very happy and Skylar too. And what if I don't come down? Then I'll be very disappointed. Aw, shit. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. He hit her with the real truth, the hard truth. That hurts. I'm disappointed in Jesse, but I don't want him to be disappointed in me. I don't want him to hate me. Alright, I'll come downstairs. That's great, Jesse says, though it isn't great and I want to die. I knew you'd do the right thing. Lil, Skylar will be I knew you'd do the right thing, Lil. Skylar will be so pleased. I'm sure you'll love her after spending a bit of time with her. He's wrong. I won't love her. I already know that I hate her. Oh boy. Okay, hold on. Sure, slot 4. That's... What the fuck is this menu? Anyway, um, I'm getting tired. Um, yeah, this is the weirdest save screen I think I've ever seen. Because, like, it had me click on save, but then it didn't actually move me over. It was very weird. Because, like, why does the cursor stay on save? It's that's I don't know. It's very weird. Anyway, I am going to find someone to raid out to. Because I'm getting tired. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think I will actually finish this on another stream because it has significantly improved from where it started. Um, which is kind of wild to think about given how it started. But but yeah. There will be more potential mermaid down the road, probably next week. Um, but for now, I'm going to see about finding someone to raid to. Um, so let's see who's on. No way in hell am I gonna find someone that's playing this. So let's see.
Garbage day!
Oh, good lord!
No!
One last garbage day for the road.